November evening in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Saturday, November 16th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $, ORIONNWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the #1 Oregon Ducks versus the Wisconsin Badgers live here on NBC and Peacock. And let's get this thing going, baby. I've been waiting for this one all freaking day. Let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and I'm ready. And luckily, I got everything all queued up just in time. And I do apologize I wasn't able to get started a little bit earlier, but the thumbnail took me a little bit longer. Let's go, baby. #1 Oregon Ducks, unranked Wisconsin Badgers. Dylan Gabriel, let's get it done, baby. I am ready. Let's go. Let's go, baby. We got Wisconsin. We got Washington. Big Ten championship. More than likely against Ohio State once they beat Indiana. And then, we'll have to kind of just see how things go. We're going to be humble. We know we're the #1 team in the land, but that doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. You want to be able to win the Natty, bring the championship home to Eugene. And I'm just hoping that, we can stay clear of any major mistakes. And if we end up losing the Big Ten championship to Ohio State, that doesn't mean our season is over. We could still end up meeting up with them in the Natty, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But we might be able to pull off history and do the trifecta. Beat Ohio State by 1 in the regular season, beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, and hopefully we get to play them again in the Natty. I think that would be the best Natty that you could ask for based off the best teams in the country. But again, you got to earn it. You got to stay clean. You got to be able to be as much injury-free as possible. You got to get hot and healthy at the right time. And we got a few players banged up, obviously with Jordan James, Tez, and a few others. But we have enough depth, it looks like, this particular year to get the job done, and hopefully we can. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're going to be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall. And obviously 100 in the donos on every single stream. #1 Oregon Ducks versus the unranked Wisconsin Badgers. 10-0 Oregon versus 5-4 Wisconsin. Kickoff is going to be here in just about a few minutes. Let's go. I'm ready. All right, I got to turn up the TV in the studio here. We got to turn it up so loud that my TV, hopefully the speakers don't blow. I don't know how. I'm going to go 75. I don't think my speakers will blow with 75, though. And then if it gets really exciting, it might go up to 80. Let's go, baby. Matt in the building, what's good? Daniel in the building, what's good? Cole in the building, what's good? Sarah in the building, what's good? Let's go. I'm ready. Let's get it, baby. And I'm always going to try to, give you a different look. Obviously the live play-by-play and reactions and that kind of highlighted look is my signature look, but I'm always going to give you a little bit this, a little bit of that, bigger players, smaller players, just to kind of make things a little bit interesting. And hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys like it. And hopefully the Ducks bring their A game here today. Let's go.
But clear night overall, the big key here is that we get to 25 miles per hour. It is extra gusty by the time you get down the field.
47 degrees. Kind of similar what it is here in the Pacific Northwest here in Oregon. Feels like 35. The black matted helmets with the silver wings. You got the whites with the holographic numbers. Let's go, baby. We're ready. Let's go. Megan in the building. What's good? Kraken and Trojans, a good combo for you. That definitely will put a smile to your face. Kraken part for me, and obviously the USC part for you. Kraken for both of us. And great to be able to see them get on a nice little win streak, you know, regardless if it's 2, 3, 4 games. And hopefully they can continue that success throughout the whole season. I did definitely hoping that they can make the playoffs, but seems like they have got motivated enough to kind of turn things around temporarily. And that's great, you know, just based on how things were going at the beginning of the year. I think that's really what the fans and the players and the coaches were desperately wanting. And thankfully we got that. All right, baby, here we go. Hell yeah, 4 games straight. Not easy to do in the NHL or in any sport, let's be honest. Little handoff up the middle. Walker, where are you going, baby? You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere, baby. Let's go. Let's get it. And obviously we'll have the logo there in the top corner for the team that has the football. And then we got, obviously, I looked for a spinning logo of Wisconsin, but they don't have anything cool like that, like this particular logo. So maybe we'll just go with the Oregon one. Play action fake. Little check down over the running back's head by a mile. Braden Locke, pass incomplete. And Locke is not an individual that is going to be able to win the game for Wisconsin. You know, he's one of those guys, just kind of average quarterback. You know, not great, not terrible, but again, that throw right there, way over the running back's head. And again, you got to get off to a fast start if you're going to go against a team like the Oregon Ducks this year. 3rd down and 10. I think I'm going to turn it up a little bit louder. Let's hope that my speakers don't blow here in the room. All right, here we go. Shotgun set. Ducks bringing blitz. Lock. Horrible camera work there by NBC. We didn't even see exactly what happened. But great defense there by the Ducks, and hopefully the camera work will be better. But I can't complain. It can't get any worse than what we saw on Netflix with the Tyson Paul fight with the WWE Monday Night Raw. They're not going to have as many. Ooh, wow, they knocked it out. Wow, I didn't even see that on the original, obviously, footage because they cut into the wide receiving core instead of actually knocking that ball out. Nice job, Ducks. Great defense. We force a punt. Let's go. Almost a block. Great start for Oregon. But again, you're not going to get as many eyeballs on Monday Night Raw as that Tyson Paul fight. So the buffering that we had was a little alarming, but I don't think we're going to have that much of an issue as we go on to the Monday Night Raw section of it going into January 2025. But still a little alarming. Tyson gave it his all, but when you're almost 60 years old, you can only do what you can do. So LJ and Noah were at the Kraken game. Lucky. Judah in the building. What's good? All right, Oregon. Let's go, baby. Let's get it done. No Taz. Justice Lowe, man in motion. Jordan James is back. There we go. And I don't really know the significance of the percentage of what he's at. Obviously, if he was 50% or less, he wouldn't play at all. And I probably would assume that they wouldn't even want him out there unless he was 80% or better. So we'll have to monitor Jordan James, and hopefully he'll be able to play this full game without any restrictions. 2nd down and 5. Gabriel going long, going deep, one-on-one, got a man. Big hit towards the sideline. Evan Stewart, the intended receiver, incomplete. and he's walking a little gingerly there. I'm liking the uniform combos, obviously, for Oregon. We're undefeated with all the jerseys. A little stop and go right there by Evan Stewart, and then gets pounded there late by the safety over the top. But I like the black matted helmet with the winged look, O in the back. Very, very clean look in every single jersey, helmet, pant, cleat combo, armband combo. This season has been phenomenal. I mean, there's not very many teams that have more than a couple options, and we're just lucky enough, with Uncle Phil and that Nike money, that we can have a different jersey and a different helmet and pant combo every week. Gabriel, 3rd down and 6. There we go. Nice pitch and catch. First down, Ducks. Move the chains. Evan Stewart, baby. Let's go. Odin Sun in the building. What's good? Let's go. Let's march down the field. And, I'll take 3 if we have to take 3 right out of the gate. You don't want to get too greedy. And obviously the emotion of the game. Pass towards the sideline to Stewart again. Loss of 2. But again, touchdowns are always ideal, but you never want to leave points on the board, regardless if it's high school, college, or the NFL. And then again, obviously, we're going to try to get into the 32 to 39 range. That's kind of been our wheelhouse so far here in 2024. Let's go, Dylan. Let's go, baby. Go Ducks. Mac in the building. What's good? Shotgun set. Gabriel. Jordan James. Go, baby, go. Hell yeah. Looking like a Jonathan Stewart on that play. First down, Ducks. Move the chains. Let's go. Let's get it, baby. And that's a good sign of Jordan James running that hard and aggressively after, being injured last game. Gabriel towards the sideline. Evan Stewart picking up that role of Tez Johnson almost seamlessly. And thank God we have some pretty good depth. Even though at the beginning of the year, our offensive line was injured. We had to replace Jackson Powers Johnson initially with like a freshman. We've had to move some guys around. Guys have gotten healthy, and things have gotten much, much better between those first 2 weeks of the season to where we're at right now. 2nd down and 2. Gabriel right up the gut. First down, Oregon. Let's go. Move the chains. Feels like we're going to get a tutty on this first drive. Let's go. Odin Sun, 3 picks against the opponent for the Irish, huh? Fantastic win for you guys. I'm glad that you're able to get the dub. Obviously, with Megan's USC Trojans getting the dub as well. Washington getting the dub for Captain and Reflect yesterday. So it seems like almost all of us are getting dubs this weekend, and that's a good sign. And then obviously, I might be the last one, but again, we just want to play some clean football, not get too ahead of ourselves, understand that we know we can beat Wisconsin and Washington, but they are going to give us battles at times. But again, it is a 4-quarter game, and, I don't think anyone really feels that we're going to lose to Wisconsin or UW, and hopefully Ohio State beats Indiana, so that way we can get them in the Big Ten championship, because that's who I want again. I think that would be the best matchup. Not only for me as a personal fan, but I think the country would ideally love to see that matchup again, since we only beat them by 1 in Autzen. They could definitely beat us the second time around. I got mad love and respect. Ryan Day has a hard time against top 5 opponents, but that doesn't mean that they can get revenge and payback in the Big Ten championship, but they got to beat Indiana first. And then hopefully we play Ohio State in the Natty. That's my number 1 choice. Ohio State 3 times in a season. I don't care. I love it. Give me the best of the best. Shotgun set. 3rd down and 7. Gabriel. A little underneath route. Not even close to the first down marker. Evan Stewart getting all the looks so far. And we'll see if we end up going for the field goal here, like I mentioned a few minutes ago. Initially at the beginning of the season, the offensive line was so bad, and, he was playing very tentative and very cautiously, almost like a poor man's Tim Tebow. Kick is up and good. Atticus Sappington, 3-0 Oregon. But again, it's more than, just him himself. It's the offensive line, moving guys over, getting guys healthy, and also Dan Lanning proving that arguably he's the best coach in college football today. Harbaugh has gone to the Chargers, right? Saban is gone on TV. Ryan Day is in the conversation, but Lanning kind of owns him lately. But Day is still a top, 3, top 4 coach, right? You got Sarkisian there at Texas, obviously doing a good job as well. But it just feels like the shift in college football, is this year. This is the first year where you're not going to necessarily see Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and that's it. Because it's pretty much normally, those 2 teams, Michigan and Ohio State in the Big Ten, the 2 teams in the SEC with Georgia and Bama, and then no one else has a chance. And then if you're just so lucky and you end up having a team like LSU did with Burrow and, Jamar Chase and Jay Jetta and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and you had one of the best offenses that we've ever seen, that's kind of an anomaly. It's like 1 in a million kind of team, but LSU had it. And then we've also seen teams like Clemson with Trevor Lawrence, be very, very good. But for the most part, unless you're Ohio State, Michigan, Bama, or Georgia, over 100 Division I teams, no one would literally really have a chance to be able to get to the Natty or win against, these Big Ten or SEC teams. But now, with the shift with Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA, I'm going to be really honest. I think the Big Ten is easy compared to the Pac-12. The Pac-12 top to bottom was much more competitive. Now, I still think the teams at the top and in the middle are great, but let's not get it twisted. When you go from the middle to the bottom, the Pac-12 was much, much better than the Big Ten. So, again, I'm not saying this is a cakewalk for us, but for all the haters in the Big Ten towards Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA, I'm sorry that only one of us, is there. But, don't be sleeping on Washington or USC or UCLA. In a few years, I assume all 4 teams are going to be in the middle to the upper half of the Big Ten. You just got to be able to recruit, get the right coaches, the right players. But again, I just feel like the Big Ten has got some good teams, and obviously we have 4 out of the top 5 teams in the rankings, Oregon, and obviously with Penn State and Indiana, Ohio State. So it shows you, you end up adding some of these quality pieces that people talk shit about for years and years and years, saying, oh, the Pac-12 is little brother. Oh, the Pac-12 can't beat any of the good teams. Oh, the Pac-12, when they play the Big Ten, they get smashed by Ohio State and Michigan. Oh, if they play SEC, they have no chance against Georgia and Bama. This year, it's a different story. And I feel that moving forward, the Big Ten is going to be the best division in football. The SEC's got Oklahoma, they got Texas, they got Georgia and Bama, but they don't have the same kind of feel of that dominance because you're not going to be able to have 50 NFL players on Bama and Georgia, and everyone else has got 5 or 10. So it's definitely a much more even playing field with the NIL, no loyalty. Coaches and players can dip at any time. And again, it really shows you, especially in 2024, you got to have one of the best coaches in the game for recruiting as well as coaching. And if you do, you're going to have an advantage over a lot of the other teams in college football. All right, go. 3-0 Oregon. Kickoff to Wisconsin. Tackle his ass. There we go. Let's go, baby. And I feel like our coaching staff is the best in the country. As you look at some of these other guys that we have, we're going to probably end up losing a few of these guys over the years unless they want to be able to, unless we win the chip this year. If we win the chip, then some of these guys will probably stay because we're going to try to go back to back or try to get there within the next few years if we get a chance to win it all. Not saying that we will, but obviously we do have a chance. And as long as we have Dan Lanning, we should be one of the top 5 teams in the country for the next 5 to 10 years. And you would think if he stays for 10, handoff up the middle, we should be able to go to 2 or 3 natties. And out of 2 or 3 natties in 10 years, we should be able to win at least one. We've already gone twice and lost within the last 25 years. And again, the Chip Kelly team should have won against Auburn with the jersey that I'm wearing right now. When we had Marcus Mariota and we played Ohio State, I knew we weren't going to win that one. But again, we've been close, but sometimes you got to feel the pain and the misery before you can climb the mountain and have joy and success, right? You got to crawl before you walk. And all the pain and the sacrifice and all the tears that were shed, it's time for us to be able to be on top. 2nd down and 8, 3-0 Oregon. Man in motion, handoff, play action, almost picked. Oh, my. Abe Lucas, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. You had your center Connor Williams retire, not only based off the injury, but mentally, maybe not into it. And obviously releasing a linebacker, as well. So it shows you not the most ideal situation, for the Hawks with like letting guys go or guys unexpectedly retiring. But the Abe Lucas news is great. And it's going to be a battle because Gino hasn't been able to beat the Niners, and I'm really rooting for you guys. But things have to be very, very clean, obviously, this weekend. And again, you're not going to be able to stop Christian McCaffrey, but if you can limit the damage, you guys will have a shot, and hopefully you guys will end up getting the dub at the day. Another team that has been slowly growing, slowly but surely. NFC West is up for grabs, and we'll see what happens there tomorrow. I'll be definitely watching Red Zone and, 5-6 games at the same time. 3rd down and long. Shotgun set. Get his ass. There we go. Fumble. Grab that ball. I was going to say, you can't wait for the whistle. Make sure you grab that football at any given time. Let's go. And even with all these unexpected kind of things happening to the Hawks, at least that there's not like, the Niners are not like, 8-1. Or, they're not like so dominant like in the past where you're not going to have any chance besides maybe if you play well at the second half of the season, maybe the best you could ask is for a wild card. But right now you got all the teams kind of jumbled in a big mess, and it's really anybody's call on who's going to come out on top, with the Cardinals and the Rams and the Seahawks and the Niners. And I'm definitely here to see the progression of the teams as we move forward. 3-0 Oregon. Let's go, baby. Yeah, and again, I'm back watching the Blazers on a regular basis. And for me, it's about defense and it's about passion. And I haven't really seen that from the Blazers in a long, long time. Klingon could get Rookie of the Year. And it's the first time that we've had toughness from a power forward or a center in like 25 years. And this guy is incredibly special, a guy that can score 20 to 25, get you 10 to 20 boards. He can get you 5 to 10 blocks and 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 assists in a game. Shaden Sharp is back as well, so we got our scorer. Scoot hasn't developed into the Damian Lillard type of player yet, but as far as being maybe the 3rd or 4th best player on the team with Jeremy Grant and a few other guys, it makes it actually worthwhile. Now, at the beginning of the year, we were getting our ass kicked and losing by like 30 or 40 points because we didn't have Shaden Sharp, our best player, in the lineup. But since he's come back, he's had a career high, of almost 35. Klingon had his little Dairy Queen glass, Blazer glass as the giveaway, ended up having a career game, and they're actually fun to watch now. So I'm definitely on board, and I'm going to try to do my best to watch full games of the Blazers. I can't really watch a lot of the NBA in general, but for the Blazers, I can watch them, especially now that they have that mental toughness and they're actually playing with passion and playing with a little bit of heart. They're not just sitting over and just, rolling over and dying and, giving up. And again, when you end up getting blasted by 30, 40 points back to back to back to back, it's not very fun to watch. So obviously I would watch pieces of it, but I'm not going to sit through, game after game losing by 40. I mean, there's only so much my mental health can take, but it is a good sign for them. And the Blazers still are going to be one of the worst teams in the NBA, and maybe we can get Cooper Flagg from Duke and add that piece. And if we can get something like that added onto the Blazers, then we'll be really cooking. But for the time being, at least we got the Oregon Ducks balling out of control. 3-0 Oregon. Let's go. Kling Kong is awesome, man. And it's crazy. Me and my buddy wanted to go and get that glass because they're doing the Kling Kong glass, right? They're doing the Scoot glass and they're doing the Shaden Sharp glass. And I told my buddy, you're not going to be able to get it for 25 to 50 bucks. It's going to be like 75 to like 100. And it's exactly what happened. Most people are selling them for $100. There was about 7,000 glasses out of like the 20 to 25,000 capacity for Moda. So only about a third of the building got one if you got there early. But still, a $100 glass, $100 drinking glass, but it is a limited edition glass, with a cartoon caricature of Klingon. And I don't know if I don't think I can pay $100 for a glass, maybe 50, but good defense there by Wisconsin on special teams. But definitely nice to be able to see, because remember, there's another center that's on the Grizzlies right now that people thought maybe the Blazers should have, drafted more of an offensive-minded center, right? But we definitely have seen that the Blazers did their homework. We have been hitting on our picks with like Dame and CJ, Anthony Simons, Shaden Sharp, and then obviously now with Klingon. And again, it's about damn time. You know, we already fucked up with the Sam Bowie, Michael Jordan, right? We already fucked up with the Greg Oden over Kevin Durant, and it feels good to actually hit on some draft picks as of late. All right, here we go, Ducks. First down and 10. Handoff. No. Little play action. Short gain. Justice Lowe with the short gain. Let's go, baby. But Clean Kong, that is that's must-see TV. Absolutely. All right, looks like we need one more like to be able to get to 10, 11 more. We're at 11 now. 9 more to go to hit 20. Let's go, baby. Little screen. Go. Blockers downfield. Block for his ass. There we go. First down, Ducks. I had a flashback of Colt Lyerla right there. Another guy that the Oregon Ducks had, that never really panned out to their full potential. Another guy, Cliff Harris, if you remember him in the Chip Kelly era. You have certain athletes, that sometimes get in trouble off the field, and you wish them the best. But I definitely got a little Colt Lyerla flashback there. Gabriel, going long, going deep, got a man. Overthrown in double coverage, incomplete. Let's go, Dylan. We're obviously going for these the jugular, on some of these deep throws, but again, the accuracy. I'm liking the beanies that the Oregon has on the sideline there. I might need to cop one. Shotgun set. Gabriel towards the sideline. Minimal gain there. Good form tackling by the Wisconsin Badgers so far here in the first quarter. Respect. Third down and 5. This might be a game where we see a little RPO action with Gabriel running, at some point or another. Shotgun set. Wisconsin is out of coverage. Going long, going deep. Got a man down the sideline. Caught, baby. First down, Oregon. Evan Stewart. Let's go, baby. Move the chains. 34-yard gain. Well, technically 32-yard gain to the Wisconsin 9. First down, Oregon. Move the chains. Let's go. Captain in the building. What's good? Yeah, well, I'm happy that you were able to sit through some of those losses, Mac. For me, I can't sit through 30 to 40-point losses. I mean, again, I started watching the Blazers in the 80s, and Gabriel. Oh, tipped, intercepted. Oh, my. Bad interception there. But it was off a tip. It wasn't just right to the Wisconsin Badgers. And we're going to have to be a little bit more cautious. And again, if you remember, we had a game, about a month ago where Gabriel had 2 red zone interceptions. Now, we got one right here. And that throw was obviously behind him. And tipping it right into the air to the secondary for the Badgers, not ideal. And maybe we'll see Gabriel run the football on the ground with an RPO. That was kind of the feeling that I had with those overthrows early on. When Gabriel's not hitting early, you got to make sure that you're getting at least positive things happening for you. Kind of like if you're a three-point shooter and you start bricking, like the first 7 threes you take, what do? You go inside for some layups to get confidence, and then you kind of go inside, work yourself out. Right? And then gain that confidence, layups, jumpers, free throws, and then, maybe then down the road, then you attempt some more threes. So again, I know we're going to have some more deep shots, but not a very good throw by Gabriel behind the receiver, tipped into the air, and we'll see if Wisconsin can get any points off the turnover. Let's go, baby. Yeah, but I mean, for the Blazers, I feel now with Klingon and Sharp and Scoot and Jeremy Grant, I mean, if we could add like a Cooper Flagg from Duke or another top tier guy, that would be great. But from me watching when, basketball was at its heyday in the 80s and 90s, it's not really the same type of game now, but at least I can watch the Blazers now and enjoy it instead of having to cover my eyes after like the second quarter. So 3-0 Oregon. Let's go, baby.
Selection of all-electric Mustang Mach-E's. Ride from 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds. Say goodbye to gas. Mach-E has over 300 miles of range. Touchscreen design, phenomenal tech. Seating for 5, a trunk up front and back, and 0 emissions. Best of all, Mustang Mach-E prices at Landmark start at under $40,000. Ride yours home today at Landmark Ford and Tiger.
It's go time. And at AAA, we're here for it. Here for front row seats and backyard barbecues. All in for the spontaneous road trip and the well-planned vacation. For worry-free commutes, awesome adventures, and great escapes. From camping under the stars to 4-star hotels. Here where you need us most, with the best roadside assistance, like we have been for more than 120 years. Wherever your journey takes you, we're here to power it. AAA here for you.
Yeah, at some point, Ayton, could be a guy that we could send to the bench, but also with injuries, and the Blazers are known for that, we might just want to keep Ayton on the bench for like the best insurance plan and maybe one of the best backup centers in the league, because you just never know, with Klingon might get a sprained ankle. He's so physical trying to be able to get block shots down low. You never know, he might step on someone, and then we'll kind of see where it goes with some of the other players that we have. But definitely, if we could end up getting a good deal in return for some of the players that we have, that would be great. But again, you never know what an injury or two could do. And then if you end up trading away some of those pieces that you had, and then you have your main guys get hurt, then you're going to be falling back in the standings. So first down and 10. But we do have the luxury with Klingon stepping up. He could get Rookie of the Year, and Ayton isn't the same type of, oh my God, we need this player now. He definitely is a dispensable player if we choose that, we don't want him on the bench, if we want to see if we can get something for him. Don't know what we would be able to get, but, And he's never going to be a guy, Ayton is never going to be a Shaq. He's never going to be a top-tier guy. He kind of underwhelms, but, he's still a guy that can get, 10-8 or 15-10 here and there. Handoff up the middle. Short gain for the Badgers. Yeah, Gabriel was obviously pissed. The throw was off. That was on him. If you throw it behind the receiver, he threw a hand up, that's on him. And, obviously there's going to be words exchanged. We've already had some issues with that earlier in the year with some of our guys, but hopefully like Trayshawn Holden. But, emotions are going to get high in college football in the NFL. It's not like they have microphones on the players, because if they did, they'd be bleeping out words every 5 seconds. Pass towards the sideline, incomplete. Braden Locke, no accuracy. I don't know why the Wisconsin fans are booing. You've been watching him do this all year. There's a reason why you're 5-4, 3-3 in the conference, because he's not good. Possibly, but it's not like we drafted him and he's been on this team for, long time. We just got him recently, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. As long as the Blazers are winning and Shaden Sharp is back with Klingon, that's really all that matters. That's what's going to bring Blazer fans back if they left. Fair caught. And we got good field position here. No points off the turnover, which didn't surprise me. And again, with Gabriel and that kind of off, throw early on, maybe run the football, and we know that he can run an RPO and run it for 30, 40, 50 yards for a rushing touchdown. And I think that would be good for Gabriel's confidence in this game. And then once he gets a few, decent runs, intermediate throws, then we can try for that deep jugular throw, going for obviously the neck and trying to go for the, the big play a little bit later. But we got a 3-0 lead, and we'll see what we can add on to it here. Yeah, nice win for the Dogs last night for the Huskies. I'm not a hater like you, Joe. For me, I like rooting for, the teams in the Pacific Northwest. Oregon, Oregon State, Washington, Washington State. My favorite college football player last year was Michael Penix Jr., even though I'm a Duck fan, since the 80s. So, most Duck fans would never say something like that, but, I got to give credit where credit is due. But, you guys aren't the same anymore, with the coach gone and all the players off to the NFL. But I will say this, hopefully in the next few years, that you guys can get the recruiting up. And I would love to be able to see Washington at the top with Oregon, battling it out with like teams like Michigan and Ohio State and Penn State as well. So you got to think someone's going to jump. It's either going to be USC or Washington. Like, which one is going to make the biggest move in the next couple years to join Oregon at the top? So, Will in the building. What's good? It's all good. Most fans of teams, they're not going to, have any appreciation or love for the rival teams that are in the division. So, I don't know. I just appreciate greatness, for what it is. So, regardless on what player the team is on in college or in the NFL, if the player is great, I'm going to recognize it and, I'm going to enjoy watching them and I'm going to go out of my way and watch them. So, but at least you got Jonah Coleman, who's awesome. He's fun to watch. Again, you got to figure out, obviously, your quarterback situation. We know Rodgers is terrible, right? Rodgers is terrible. And again, the younger freshman, obviously, it can't really throw that well, but he's got better legs as a runner. But I don't know if that's going to be the answer for the Huskies. You probably are going to have to get a transfer, and then you can have the transfer and then the young one to be able to battle it out. But luckily for you guys, Rodgers is a senior. I couldn't imagine the Husky fans having to deal with that for another year next year. But the guy is just way too inconsistent, throws way too many picks, and definitely doesn't have the swag or the confidence in himself to be able to get it done. So unfortunately, that's your quarterback for now. But, you guys will get better ones, obviously, moving forward. So. Yeah, unfortunately, though, Will, Bama and Georgia aren't really good anymore. I mean, they were the top two teams for years and years and years, but they've kind of fallen back. Obviously with Kirby Smart, he's still there, but both teams have kind of taken a step backwards, and Oregon and Texas kind of took their spots. And obviously Michigan fell back as well with no Harbaugh, so shows you how important a coach really is. You can have the reputation of the school and having the legacy for 50 to 100 years of how great these teams were. Get rid of it, Dylan. Going deep. First down, Oregon. But sometimes it's more than just legacy. Sometimes you actually have to have the proper coach to bring in the proper recruits, to be able to get the right scheme, to be able to get the right players to join what you have. And, right now, Oregon, kind of feels like, those Georgia and Alabama teams from years past. But until we win the Natty, we can't really, add them to that same category. Not yet. Handoff. Noah Whittington slithering his way for a few. Flag on the play. Might be a hold on the O-line. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Ferg with the hold. Come on, Ferg. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think when you're younger, as an individual, you got more hate in your system. I feel like when you're, growing up and, in your teens or your early 20s. But I feel like once you hit like 30, 40, 50, if you're, able to live that long, I feel like you start to appreciate, the sport for what it is, the conference for what it is, and the teams that are in it and the players that represent it, rather than just be like, oh, my team's the best, fuck everybody else. It's kind of a, it's kind of a shitty mentality, but that's where a lot of the fans are at in sports nowadays. 5-yard penalty. First down. I don't know. I'm kind of worried about the college football playoff rankings, though, because it doesn't even match up to the top 25 by the AP or the coaches poll. It's like you don't even really know how it's all going to go down, and there's going to be teams that are going to get screwed, and eventually we're going to have to shift to a 16-team playoff, and you're still going to have people pissed off, but a little bit less. Shotgun set. First down and long. Almost picked. No whistle down. Is that a fumble? I thought that was incomplete. I don't. Well, yeah. You got one guy saying incomplete, and then you got another guy saying Wisconsin football. Get the fuck out of here. Incomplete. Jesus Christ. Flag on the play. Justice Lowe is down. Damn it. We're just having injury after injury. Hopefully he can get up and be okay. I mean, we're just losing players left and right. Luckily, we have, enough depth, even though we don't have like the LaMichael James. We don't have the Kenyon Barner. We don't got the Jonathan Stewart. We don't got the DeAnthony Thomas. We don't have these kind of guys on the roster this year. They're incomplete pass. But Evan Stewart has done a great job stepping up into the one role for Tez, but now another receiver going down for the Oregon Ducks. Not good. Steele in the building. What's good? Yeah, they wouldn't be able to do March Madness, but football, Cole. It's football, not basketball. The players get hurt way too much, and they can only play a certain amount of games. There's a reason why that they play the least amount of games out of any sport in college and in the NFL, because the bodies can't take the punishment. But again, we are going to probably go to a 16-team playoff in a few years, but at least we're at 12. But I just have this weird gut feeling that there's going to be quite a few teams that are deserving, that should be in it, that are going to be left out. First down and 25 as they deal with Justice Lowe and the injury. Hopefully he's okay.
He shakes those things off, stays the same. And here he is right now. Up the field for the red zone interception. He's got the ball back on the Wisconsin side of the field and a chance to contend his team down for a score. Again, that blend between 50 steps.
But again, when we start off a little slow, like I said, how do you combat that? After that first interception, I would have been starting to run, a little jet sweeps, reverses, some safe throws, but how about some RPOs with Dylan Gabriel and just have him run it a few times? And again, we already know that he can explode with good blocking and run for like a 30-yard score. Not necessarily the thing that we want him to do every game, but if you're a little shaky with throwing the football, being this Tim Tebow type of player, even though it was probably Tim Tebow 3.0 to start off the first couple games of the season, and now obviously on the Tim Tebow level, when Tebow was in that Heisman running, and obviously we know that Gabriel can run the football, but hopefully they can mix it up just a little bit, because right now on the road, the throws haven't really been on point. We have some injuries, so you just got to be able to do what works for the team, and just take what the defense is going to give you. Don't force it. We don't want this to be any closer than it has to be. Jordan James, big hit by Wisconsin. 3 Badgers up in the grill. Good defense by Wisconsin. And we got to make sure we're handing on to the football, 2 hands for Noah Whittington and Jordan James. The way that Wisconsin's hitting, it feels like we could have a fumble at some point in the game. Gabriel, run away, run away. There we go. Good vision. Get a little bit of positive yardage on that play. But the momentum is definitely all Wisconsin up to this point. Not every game is going to go, go to plan, so to speak. It's not like we're going to have a, 14 to 20 point lead in every first half on every single team that we play. Every team is going to give us their, natty effort, their Rose Bowl effort against us. And we know that. We got a target on our back. Shotgun set. Pressure, blitz, off the edge. Throw is high. Short of the marker. And again, if you notice with Wisconsin, it's pretty much everything in front of them, nothing really behind them, even though Gabriel had some deep throws early on, but haven't really been able to connect on those just yet. Let's go. Kick is up. And it's good. Atticus Sappington. And again, you never want to take for granted, taking field goals. And, instead of being in this like Chip Kelly, Dan Lanning mentality where we're just going to be going for it, on fourth down, no matter what, you want to make sure you take what the defense gives you. Now, we would rather have this be 14-0 for Duck fans, but we'll take a 6-0 lead at this point, especially with the turnovers and the sloppy play so far by Dylan Gabriel and this Oregon Duck team. But we'll be fine. Like I said, as the game goes on, you're going to have jitters. You're going to have the other team giving your A-plus effort. We'll calm down in the second half, and then we'll start to be able to extend the lead. But again, definitely a good battle so far, here in the first quarter. 1:11 left, 6-0, Oregon with 2 field goals. I mean, if Wisconsin had a better quarterback, things would be a little bit more interesting. And we have a good history against Wisconsin, obviously, in our 2 Rose Bowl wins. One against Russell Wilson in the Chip Kelly era, whereas that was the first Rose Bowl win we had in over 100 years. I remember watching that very, very closely. Fond memories of that game. And then obviously the most recent one with Justin Herbert and with the late hit by Wisconsin in the end zone when we scored, when we pretty much iced the game out. So we kind of own this team. And at this point, not the cleanest start, but we'll take a 6-0 lead. Flag on the play. Offsides on the kicking team. And then tomorrow we're going to end up doing the Bengals and the Chargers for Sunday Night Football. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. Yes, please. And then on Monday, the stream will be the Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans. Dan Lanning, baby. Let's go. $32-5. We've only had 2 losses in the last 2 years. Those 2 losses to UW by 3 each. And again, if Lanning, would have been a little bit better of a coach, at that point and just taken the field goals and not gone for some of those fourth down conversions, maybe we win one of those 2 games last year. I don't think we would have won both, but I think that we could have won at least one out of the 2. But even though we were in both games where we could have won both, but sometimes you got to be able to face, those teams that are better than you, and you learn from it, and I'm happy that we lost those 2 games, and the Huskies made it to the Natty even though they didn't win. It was good representation of the Pac-12 and Michael Penix Jr. First down, Badgers. Walker, 8-yard gain. First down, Badgers. Yeah. Penalties, injuries, sloppy play, the other team, giving us their A-plus effort, being on the road. There's always going to be a number of factors, why sometimes, things start off a little bit sloppier and slower, but again, we already know Dan Lanning is one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in college football in 2024. He will get this team right with proper yelling and motivation at halftime to get it firmed up. End of the first quarter, 6-0 Oregon. Let's go. Yeah, we're not losing here. It's just like they're not on the same level as us, and like I mentioned, the Big Ten is weak. Obviously, you got the teams at the top this year. You got Indiana, you got Oregon, you got Ohio State, you got Penn State. Michigan has fell back, obviously losing Harbaugh as coach. But a lot of the teams in the middle and the bottom are trash. The Pac-12 was much better. I would rather be playing, Arizona, Arizona State, Washington State, Oregon State, Utah. I mean, these teams, when we had all of them collectively, they were so good, and they, you never really knew if you were going to be able to win the division because there was always parity in the league where we might not have the most popular teams, but I think that people failed to realize how good the Pac-12 was top to bottom. They didn't really want to give the respect to the teams in the middle and at the bottom, but as you are watching, these games that Oregon is having and how easy it's been, again, at some point it'll be easy for USC, easy for Washington. They just got to be able to get the recruiting and get there. But again, the teams at the top are always going to be great. Ohio State's always going to be great. Penn State, always great. Michigan, when they get a better coach, right, will be great, right? And then Indiana's had an overachieving year. That's great, but again, what about all the others? And again, if you actually look at all of those teams, a lot of them are really not that good. I'm not saying it's a cakewalk, but it's a lot easier to win the Big Ten, in my opinion, with what we have now, than winning the Pac-10 or the Pac-12 in any year. I mean, prove me I'm wrong. I mean, look at the records, look at the talent, look at the players, and again, there was just so much parity that people didn't understand like how good things really were, for the Pac-12, even though they want to call us baby brother, little brother. But I mean, if we were such a shitty conference, then how is the Oregon Ducks the number one team in the nation? How are we already dominating the Big Ten in year one? If we weren't very good, right, then this would never happen. So, proving the haters and the doubters wrong. I love it. Captain with a $5. No problem, man. And like I said, I'm always gonna put in that hard work, and I'm always gonna be able to watch the film and read the articles. And again, I like being able to cover, the teams, in the Pacific Northwest, especially if I can watch Oregon State, Washington State. Those are going to be very special to me here living in Oregon. So stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack, bang, bang, $5 holla. Appreciate you. 95 to go to hit the goal. Appreciate you, my guy. Yes, we appreciate that. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Melvin Gordon in the building. The Melvin Gordon drop-off has to be studied. Remember how good he was on the Chargers, and then they had Eckler, and then, they ended up making the change, and people were a little confused. And, Melvin Gordon had some amazing games, Big Ten championship, some of those snow games from back in the day. I mean, Wisconsin is known, for running backs with Ron Dane and many, many others. But again, if you don't have the right coach, the right quarterback, the right recruiting, you're going to fall back. And even a team like Michigan that has all that history and pride, and we already know, how, consistent that team usually is. You don't got a good head coach there, you're going to fall back, and they've done that this year. Nice catch. First down, Badgers. Punch that football out. Let's go, baby. But I do appreciate you recognizing the hard work. I'm definitely going to grind it out. And, again, I'm a fanatic, right? So, basketball, baseball, football, hockey, wrestling, I'm involved. And I'm glad that we have fans of even a rival team of my own. I can still appreciate, doing a Husky stream and enjoy it like I'm doing the Ducks. So appreciate you. And you've been a good, solid piece to the NWSF. Appreciate you, Captain. Handoff. Walker, short game. And at some point, we're going to have to send that timely blitz and be able to hopefully cause a turnover. Punch a football out, get a fumble, get a pick. Because obviously we know the quarterback with Braden Locke is very mid, very average. So it's not like he's going to beat us with his arm. Maybe a few throws here and there, but little pitch. Good tackle there by Oregon. Wrap him up. Use both arms, baby. Yeah. Well, also, too, being on the road, hostile environment. And again, and you have to understand also, too, this isn't a team, with like a Marcus Mariota or a Bo Nix or a LaMichael James or a DeAnthony Thomas. Our offense is the weakest it's ever been. Our defense is the best it's ever been. So that's kind of the trade-off. Like, having like a top 5, top 10 defense, even though in the last few weeks we had like the 11th ranked offense, 11th ranked defense, but it feels like the Ducks, based off the eye test, that we have a top 5 defense, but the offense sometimes is a little lacking. Down the sideline, first and goal for the Badgers, but there's a flag on the play, and that might be a hold. Bring it back, baby. Bring it back, baby. Bring it back, baby. So sometimes, you got to understand, our offense isn't going to be explosive like those previous teams, where we would be able to score 40, 50, 60 points. This team that we have, we're going to play great defense. We're going to have to battle the injuries, but it's the best defense that we've ever had. And again, the offense at times will look great. At other times, it's going to look a little shaky, but again, if that's the trade-off that we have to have, because remember, defense wins games, defense wins championships. And then hopefully down the road, our offense will be able to, look kind of like the Marcus Mariota, Bo Nix, LaMichael James, DeAnthony Thomas, Kenyon Barner, that type, Joey Harrington, Keenan Howery, Sammy Parker type of offense. But I'll take the trade-off. I mean, I obviously would love the Ducks to be a dominant on the offensive side of the ball like in the past, but we don't have the same type of athletes on this roster. First down and 10. Shotgun set. Handoff. Walker is running hard. And right now it feels like the Ducks are just kind of going through the motions. They're going to need a little bit of a yell job, and we have to make some proper adjustments on how we're going to play this team. But you got to look at the offensive line for the Badgers. They're doing a very good job. Normally we win that battle at the line of scrimmage, every opponent that we play. But if you've noticed, Wisconsin big boys up front, some of them are holding a little bit and grabbing a little bit, but a lot of them, they look like farm boys, like really big guys, right? And you see those guys at Wisconsin and Indiana and Iowa tipped up in the air, incomplete. And when you get a lot of those big offensive linemen that look like, guys that maybe have worked on a farm or whatnot, they are incredibly tough. And it's very hard to be able to get past those type of guys. And Wisconsin's O-line looks pretty beefy up front. Now, if we can ever get to a point where we have a top 5 offense, top 5 defense, then we're really going to be cooking, then maybe that will be the point where, we, end up being like the next Georgia or the next Bama from years past. I wouldn't mind that one bit. I'd love for us to cash in on a couple natties in this Dan Lanning era. Timeout called. 3rd down and 2. And if you're Wisconsin, just pound the rock. We haven't really been able to, win the matchup at the line of scrimmage because normally we're getting sack lunches, we're getting pressures, tipped footballs. And right now, Wisconsin big boys up front have been winning the line of scrimmage, and that's why we're only up 6-0. You got to give the other team credit where, credit is due. You just can't be like, oh, Oregon is doing great or Oregon sucks and they're not doing this. Sometimes you got to give credit to the other team. But again, the Dylan Gabriel strategy has to change. You might have been able to get away with those arid throws, but again, if you remember a few weeks back, he had 2 interceptions in the red zone. And how you combat that, jet sweeps, reverses, little, easy, timely throws, short and intermediate. And how about with RPOs and Dylan Gabriel running the football? That'll help us. And then you can end up going deep later in the second half. Good tackle there by Oregon. Dante Manning, baby. Let's go. Fourth down and 1. 6-0 Oregon. Just hand the ball off if you're Wisconsin. False start. Hell yeah. There we go. False start on Wisconsin. We'll see what they call here. Look like a false start. Delay a game. Gary Bryant Jr. Fucking A. Oh, yeah. I've liked every uniform combo. I'm not a bandwagon Duck fan like some that are out there. It's like you get these people that live in Oregon or Washington and, they just buy the gear, but they don't know any of the players' names or, they're just kind of hopping on for, the joyride and whatnot. But, I've been watching since the 80s and when they used to win like a game or 2 a season. So really, the turning point was with Bilotti and Joey Harrington in like the late 90s, early 2000s. And since then, we've been on the map. Get his ass. Good tackle there. Loss of 1 from Braden Locke. Come on, baby. Yeah, but I like the uniforms a lot. Black matted helmet, wings on the side, which we don't use every single game. Sometimes it's the O on the side, but the helmets are very unique. They got the wings on the sides and then the O in the back, which is a very clean look. And I like the jersey selection with the black pant and cleat. Over the top, incomplete. If you had a good quarterback there, that would have been a touchdown. Braden Locke, pass incomplete. And the offensive line has been doing a fantastic job for Wisconsin. So it's not like he doesn't have time. He's got plenty of time. He just doesn't have the touch on his throws. I mean, Jesus Christ. You have anybody that has any type of skill there. He could have thrown that in any spot within a 5-yard radius, and that would have been an easy tutty, a walk-in tutty. Pass, incomplete. 4th down and 11, and I assume that they'll kick a field goal. I don't think that they would be that cocky to, go for it. I mean, especially with 11 yards, Take the field goal.
It might be a first down or even a touchdown. Brandon Johnson was in coverage, and 2 plays in a row, Braden Locke had a chance, and comes up short with an inaccurate throw. No, instead, 31-yard attempt.
31-yard attempt. Kick is up, and down the middle, good. 6-3, Oregon. Not ideal, for the start, but again, this is college football. You don't have an explosive offense like you have in the past. There's going to be games where Dylan Gabriel, kind of looks average or below average or bad. Offensive line isn't as good as years past. Quarterback isn't as good. Running backs and wide receivers, even though they're some of the better players in the country, they don't have the same athleticism that I'm used to. So, for us to be a little shaky on offense this year, it's going to be kind of a thing, and it's not like we're scoring 40, 50, 60, 70 points like we have in the past. If you go and look at the last 5 or 6 games, we usually are scoring about 32 to 39. So it's been good enough, to be able to win games by scoring 32 to 39. But the defense, has been phenomenal this year. And that's really the reason why we're 10-0 in 2024. Let's go, baby. What do you want to do for photos? Captain, you want Jonah Coleman? You want some Husky photos? Or do you want something else? You want Seahawk photos, Husky photos? Let me know. We're at 5:95 to go. Got to bring that electricity here. And again, you want to stop the bleeding? I want to see Dylan Gabriel run the football on some RPOs. And if he's able to do that, that'll probably get his confidence back a little bit. Especially with the injury to Justice Lowe. We don't have Tez Johnson. We're going to have to utilize the tight ends a little bit more. And again, Jordan James is not 100% either, our number 1 running back. So again, it's like we have this offense that isn't as good as normal, and we have injuries on top of it. And we ended up losing the best center in the country, Jackson Powers Johnson. So you have to realize, this isn't the normal Oregon Duck, type of team that we're used to. Normally it's like we score a shitload of points. We got this amazing offense, but our defense blows. But now the defense is one of the best in the country. And now the offense looks kind of shaky at times, but there is also going to be times where the offense looks great. And then when that happens, we're pretty much unbeatable. If the defense plays their game and the offense looks great, there's not very many teams in the country that are going to be able to, match up with us for 4 quarters. So besides a team like Ohio State, to me, that's the best team in the country other than us. And that's why I want them in the Big Ten championship, even if we lose. And I want Ohio State, Oregon in the Natty. I think that gives you a fear that you could end up losing the Natty, but it also will give you the joy if we can beat them, in the Big Ten championship, or if we end up losing and then we end up playing them in the Natty. I think that would be must-see TV, and that would be kind of like a Georgia and a Bama, or a Georgia-Ohio State, or a Bama-Ohio State type of Natty that we've seen in the past, except the games would be much closer. You wouldn't see Georgia and Bama winning by 20 or 30 in the Natty. Like, it literally could come down to a point, a 2 or 3 for the winner. Just like in Oregon's matchup with the Buckeyes where we only won by 1. That was one of the best games I've ever seen in my life. Mad respect for that team. But Howard isn't that good of a quarterback for them, in my opinion. Like, if they ended up having like a CJ Stroud, that would be a little bit harder, to be able to beat. I mean, imagine if CJ Stroud was on Ohio State this year. That would be maybe we wouldn't be able to beat them, let's be real, but with Howard, he's okay, but I feel like he has success based on all the NFL players around him. I don't really feel that himself is that good of a player. I wouldn't want him on Oregon, not being a hater, but I just don't think he's that good. All right, 6-3 Ducks. All right, I'll see what I can come up with. I might have to wait until we're at halftime to start digging for those, but I got you. 2nd down and 4. Got to get Trayshawn holding the ball too. Handoff. There we go. Jordan James. Looking like a Jonathan Stewart. 1st down. Ducks. Move the chains. It's good for a shift in college football instead of having the same 4 teams be dominant and everyone else just has no chance. Like, it definitely feels like everything is going to be up for grabs moving forward, with not only the realignment of the teams, Oklahoma and Texas joining the SEC, Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA joining the Big Ten, but also going to the college football playoff, NIL deals, no loyalty by coaches or players, transfers at any given moment. And then obviously 12 teams that'll go to 16 team in the playoff and the next time they vote. And I think that'll make it funner. And then, at some point, there'll be a lot more NFL fans that'll get interested in the college football game because it's not just fucking Bama and Georgia winning it every year. Almost intercepted. Oh my, that could have been a pick 6. Where's my RPO, baby? Come on, Stein. Again, you don't want to be able to run a vanilla offense. And if Gabriel looks shaky, help your guy out. And making throws like that is not going to win the game for us. Gabriel does not look good today. Run the football with your legs. Be a weapon. Because obviously you don't got it with your arm here today. You're very inaccurate. Shotgun set. Gabriel. Bootleg. Pass to the outside. I mean, I do like the fact that he is a lefty, but he ain't no Michael Penix Jr., and he might end up being one of the Heisman finalists. But to me, he's not even close to being as good as Bo Nix or Marcus Mariota or Joey Harrington, or Justin Herbert. I feel like I appreciate that he's there. Yeah, he's better than like Vernon Adams and some of the other filler quarterbacks that we've had, but I just, my personal feeling, he's an okay thrower. He's a decent runner, but as far as like accuracy, he's not that accurate, as far as a lefty is concerned. Usually lefties are super accurate when they're really, really good. And, he's not terrible, still will be one of the Heisman finalists, but he ain't on the same category as Mariota or Herbert or even Nix from last year. Not even close. Like, I highly doubt that Dylan Gabriel will be a good quarterback in the NFL. He'll be like a project QB, a backup, but I don't think that he's good enough to be like a top 10 or top 12 quarterback in the NFL. He just doesn't have the skill set. Maybe a good college quarterback, but NFL quarterback, not so much. All right, let me see what I can find with Gabriel. We got the Dylan Gabriel big throw to Tez. That's at least a decent photo. See if I can find a couple here. I gotta get in my bag here. Keywords, tag words. And this is just cool to be able to see Oregon and Ohio State being two of the best. I mean, Ohio State always is one of the best, but Oregon joining the party, it just with the jerseys and the vibe and the look and Dan Lanning, it's awesome. There we go. There's one. I don't know if all of them are going to convert or not, but I'm going to try for you. See how he's running the football? That's what we need to do in this game. There we go. After a tutty. Same kind of uniforms with the black, except these ones have the tint of green on them. The green outline border. Like sometimes there's these subtle little differences with like the little O in the front of the helmet might be a different color. You know, it might be green, it might be yellow, it might be silver, it might be white. Like you just, you know, again, every little, you know, detail is obviously something that we're looking at. You know, they don't miss, man. That's why we have some of the best jerseys, because they actually take the time to look at the details and every little minor detail. The little O in the front of the helmet, the color of the wings, you know, the pattern, you know, that they have up towards the shoulder pads. You know, there's just so many unique things that bring, you know, a uniform together with the O and the Nike symbol, the Big Ten, the numbers, the nameplate, you know, all the little subtle details, the carbon fiber. There he is. DG, baby. Let's go. Hope you appreciated those. I'm actually surprised those actually formatted. Let's go. All right, 6-3 Oregon. Shouldn't be freaking out. You know, again, the offensive line and the defensive line have been winning the battle of the line of scrimmage for the most part for the Badgers. We're on the road. Gabriel looks a little off. Hopefully they decide to run the football and, you know, gain some positive yardage to get the confidence back. And again, the defense needs to step up, you know. But right now, you know, it's not like Wisconsin's ripping us with a bunch of chunk plays, but they're, you know, kind of dinking and doinking and just, you know, getting about 4 to 6 yards here and there with little, you know, runs, you know, little passes, nothing really too spectacular. But again, you know, we need to be able to dig deep, you know, and find that motivation to get a stop. You know, either, you know, sending a corner blitz, trying to punch the football out. But right now, those big boys up front, those farm boys, they're leading the attack for this Wisconsin Badger offense. We need a turnover or a stop, baby. Let's go. Little screen. Good tackle. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. And if you've noticed, you know, in the matchup, some of the Oregon players on defense are kind of out of position, you know, and again, those will be corrected, obviously, as we go into the third quarter at halftime. Not every game is going to be a blowout, and that's what makes it kind of exciting. Oh, that's a penalty. Bring that back. No flag? Are you kidding me? Wow. Trips right for the Badgers. Braden Locke. Pass incomplete. Here we go. Yeah, Ohio State and Penn State are definitely the hardest places to play besides Oregon in the Big Ten. You know, people don't go into Autzen and win. You know, obviously playing at Ohio State or Penn State, it's very hard to win there as well. I think Oregon could win in Penn State. You know, like this year, it would be a hard environment to win. You know, but I think that, you know, we are one of the teams that could. But I also could see Oregon going into Penn State and getting fucking our ass kicked too, you know, based off that crowd. I could see that happening at some point in the Dan Lanning era. I'm not saying that it's going to happen next year if they're on the schedule, depending on who's home and who's away, but Penn State is much better than Michigan this year. Wisconsin with the punt. And we just have to be happy that Wisconsin's quarterback is ass cheeks. So, again, if they actually had a capable quarterback with the way that they've been dinking and doinking and winning the line of scrimmage, we could essentially be down, like 14-6 right now or 17-6. So we have to be thankful that Wisconsin's quarterback is just average or bad. And hopefully we can take advantage of this. And we'll see what Dylan Gabriel does here on this drive. And hopefully we can get points. And even if we end up getting only 3 and it ends up being 9-3 at half, not ideal, but again, it's better than 6-3. And those touchdowns are going to end up coming in the second half, but it would be great to get a touchdown, have a 13-3 lead, go into the locker room, yell a little bit, try to get a new strategy, understand what Wisconsin is doing to us, and then making the proper adjustments. So. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. A few more likes to be able to get to 20. Let's see where we're at. Where are we at right now? We're at 13. If you're in the room right now and haven't smashed that like button, please do. Now we're at 14. Thank you so much. 6 more to go to hit the initial goal. Let's get there, baby. And we're at 5 on the dono train, 95 to go. And I know sometimes people will get, overly frustrated, watching a number 1 team playing a team that's 5-4, 3-3 in the conference, and you're only up 6-3. But again, you do have to realize, college football season is extremely long. There's a lot of injuries, a different type of locations that you're going into. And again, this is all going to be brand new for us. This is our first year in the Big Ten. So again, it's like a lot of these locations, we don't play here, that often. And maybe we've been here before, but this is not normally a place that we play every year. And again, we will make the adjustments at half, but I need to see Gabriel run the football with his legs a little bit more. And I believe if we do that, we could cash in. So we'll see what we get here in the last 5:41. All good, brother. Oh, Texas definitely has a chance to be the number 1 team at one point or another. You got Bama and you got Georgia, right? But Texas is right there with them, But then we'll figure out, who's the best. Is it going to be Oregon and Ohio State and Penn State, or is it going to be Texas, Georgia, and Bama? And based off name recognition, everyone would assume it's Texas, Bama, and Georgia. But again, Bama and Georgia aren't as good as they have been in the past. And maybe Texas is a little bit better than normal. But if you look at the standings, there's a reason why, 4 out of the 5 teams in the top 5 are in the Big Ten. Go Ducks. Justice Lowe. Oh, he got fucking blasted. Yeah, he probably isn't coming back. Gabriel, screen pass. Blockers downfield. There we go. Trayshawn Holden. Shotgun set. Handoff. Noah Whittington with the short gain, 2 yards.
Sometimes you have the laces and sometimes you don't. The key is it's got to come out quick and it's got to come out accurately.
Yeah, Gabriel's not even using the laces. Come on, my guy. I loved Michael Penix Jr. last year, but Gabriel ain't no Michael Penix Jr. Not even close. Not even the same fucking atmosphere or stratosphere. Shotgun set. Handoff right up the gut. There we go. First down, Oregon. Move the chains. And that's what we needed. We needed that burst, that Jonathan Stewart burst right up the middle. And Jordan James, they don't got an answer for that. First down, Oregon. Great blocking up front by the Ducks. Right up the gut again. Move that pile. Yeah, well, you already knew Oregon and Texas were taking Alabama and Michigan's spot. You know, like I said, based on like the pecking order, Sarkisian is one of the top 5 coaches. Lanning is one of the top 5 coaches. Obviously, Alabama has got DeBoer, the Huskies, old coach. No more Nick Saban, so they're not going to be as good. Kirby Smart is still there, but Georgia has been struggling, with some of their games. So, it's going to definitely vary from season to season. Jordan James with a stiff arm, but 5 Badgers collapse on a dog pile. Good defense there by Wisconsin. Come on, Oregon. Your offensive line has to play better. And when I see a game like this, it makes me wish that we still had Jackson Powers Johnson. We're not winning the line of scrimmage on offense. We're not winning the line of scrimmage on defense today. At least not in this first half. You got to give those big farm boys credit up front for Wisconsin. Third down and 7. Shotgun set. Gabriel staring down his receiver down the sideline. Diving attempt incomplete. Hey, Will, I'm great to see you in the stream again. It's always good to be able to have international fans in the stream. You never know when we get somebody that lives in New Zealand or Australia, or wherever, Japan, it's like, it's not just, in the United States, we're global. So Ducks with the punt. And that's what happens when you don't win the line of scrimmage and your players aren't as talented as some of the players in years past. But luckily for the Ducks this season, a lot of the teams that normally, have such, incredible, players, 20, 30, 40 NFL players on Bama and Georgia, things have kind of evened out now with college football. Cool kid in the building. What's good? Oh, yeah, Beck is overrated. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of the quarterbacks this year that are playing really aren't that good. I mean, even Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning are great, and they sometimes have had some struggles, and those guys are some of the better ones, even though Arch is young, I just feel like quarterback play, it's like you got Shedeur Sanders throwing to Travis Hunter and, Colorado's much better. And we've seen Cam Ward at Miami, but it just doesn't really feel like the quarterbacks this year, in this particular, draft class. I don't know if we're going to have anyone that's going to be like, oh my God, like what we have in this draft class this year. I feel like the quarterbacks this year are kind of weak, if I'm just being honest, even including my own with Oregon. Like, I just don't feel like the quarterbacks really, for a lot of the good teams this year in the playoff, I don't really think a lot of them are that good. I think a couple might end up being okay in the NFL. Like, you could probably say Quinn Ewers might feel like he's maybe the most like NFL ready, but he has to stay healthy and he doesn't really run. He's more of a pocket guy. And unless you're Joe Burrow or, Brock Purdy, you better hope that you get drafted on the right team or that's not going to work. The NFL has kind of gotten to a point where you got to be like a Lamar Jackson or a Jalen Hurts or, an individual like that, or Josh Allen, where you can throw, but you also can run. So if you're going to be a pocket guy, you better be a really good fucking pocket guy. And we already know they don't make Tom Brady's on trees. Same thing with like a Peyton Manning, the Brady and the Manning type of quarterback. It's very rare nowadays. Yeah, quarterbacks are hella weak this year. Now, obviously we got some good running backs. Iowa's got a good one. Boise State's got a good one. The Huskies got a good one. So at least like the running backs are good. Wide receivers are phenomenal. Offensive linemen, we got some pretty good ones this year. Defense, there's some good defensive, prospects. But definitely the quarterback class is like, like we don't even really know what Cam Ward would look like in the NFL or even Quinn Ewers. Like, will they pan out? Will they be above average? Will they be average? Well, we're going to have to wait and see. And then especially if like a Cam Ward or Quinn Ewers goes to a shitty team with a shitty organization and a shitty vibe with the shitty players around them, will they still succeed? I don't know. Second down and 7, 6-3 Ducks. Walker up the gut. Flag on the play.
So much better half of football for Tommy Walker.
Holding on the defense. Golly. We keep shooting ourselves in the foot. Come on, baby. Harmon, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, we can't afford to be having penalties on offense and defense with all the injuries that we have in this lackluster play from Dylan Gabriel. And that's why, you know, for the other teams, you know, that play Ohio State and Oregon, we're going to win a majority of the games. But, you know, but when you end up looking, you know, at Howard and you look at Gabriel's better than Howard. But again, you know, there's going to be some games where you're like, man, these guys don't really look that good. 2-minute timeout, 6-3 Oregon. I'm telling you, bro, like, again, you have to look at development, high school, at Indiana, you know, and again, I really truly feel that if Penix was the starter this year, you know, he would be on the same level of like Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels. And I do really believe that he could end up being the best one out of them all. Like, you know, like I said, you're already on the Falcons. You got a good O-line. You might need to get a better GM, better head coach. The defense is drastically improved, you know, bringing some guys over, you know, from other teams. The Patriots, the Bengals, you know, you're starting to scoop up some of their good players. And again, Atlanta has never really been known as a good defensive team. And when they added Jesse Bates III and a few others, you're starting to see that, you know, they're going to start competing and it feels good. And once Cousins is done playing or gets hurt, you know, of course, Penix is going to have growing pains just like Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels and Drake May. You know, maybe J.J. McCarthy ends up being the worst one out of them all, but we're not going to really know until we see him out there. And who knows? Maybe J.J. McCarthy plays better than even Sam Darnold, you know, and maybe he ends up being what they drafted him for, you know. But I know if I was Minnesota, I would have drafted Michael Penix Jr., you know, Addison, Hawkinson, Jetta, Michael Penix Jr. That could have been must-see TV. You know, and again, the defense has been balling out for Minnesota as well. For me, that would have made more sense going from the purple to the purple, Huskies, Vikings. It would have been a very seamless transition. But the Falcons, you know, I know some of the fan base was pissed that they ended up giving Cousins the money and then got Penix. But trust me, it was one of the smartest decisions that organization has made in the last 15 years. Michael Penix Jr., because if you look at what he did last year, he's like a billion times better than anybody that's playing college football this year. I mean, even with Quinn Ewers balling out of control, I would take Mike over him, you know, based on what I saw last year. So I just don't think the quarterbacks are very good this year. Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, you know, Dylan Gabriel, you know, Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning, you know, you're seeing some of them, you know, have these good games, but I don't know. I'm not sold on a lot of these quarterbacks this year. Oh, most overrated head coach. Oh, that's a good question. Oh man, I don't know. I would have to do a little bit of digging. You know, I don't have an answer for you right out of the gates on the most overrated. Keeper towards midfield. I mean, maybe, you know, if we're talking about elite teams, who's got the most overrated coach for the elite teams? Maybe Ryan Day. You know, because again, he can beat all the shitty teams, but when he plays top 5 teams, he never wins. So I think that, you know, he is a good coach, you know, but I think maybe he might be the most overrated elite coach, you know, because I feel like they could get someone better than Ryan Day. Like if Chip Kelly ended up taking over as head coach and play caller, I think they would do better. Personally, they would recruit better and they would be a better team, you know, in my personal opinion, based off his intelligence and whatnot. So. But I still think Ryan Day is one of the top 4, top 5 coaches overall because of the recruiting trail and everything that they got, you know, playing at Ohio State. But I think he's the worst Ohio State coach out of all the ones they've had over the years. You know, if you're going back and looking at all the previous Ohio State coaches that, you know, have had success there, you know, Urban Meyer is a better coach than him by a billion. You know, and if you go back and look at who is before Urban, flag on the play. Now, Dion is good because, again, they had a shitty team with not a lot of recruits, and they've turned it around, there. And it's only the second year there in Colorado. So I don't think Dion is overrated. I think, if anything, Dion is underrated. Again, we don't, really care for him as much because they talked so much shit last year. And then, they were like 3-0, 4-0. Oregon beat the brakes off of them. And then they ended up losing every game after that and went like 4-8. Right. But this year they got a very good record. They got good coaches like Warren Sapp that they've added to the staff. It's made a big difference. So I wouldn't say Dion at all. If anything, Dion has been maybe one of the better ones in college football. Big long catch for the Badgers. First down, Wisconsin. Move the chains. And every once in a while, a blind squirrel will get a nut. And there it is. 1-on-1, going deep. Safety over the top is late. And a big catch for the Badgers. I used to like Dion the player, but as far as like him and Shedeur and Shiloh and, I think really the only person I actually kind of like on that team is Travis Hunter, but everyone else I don't really care for. I think Dion and Shedeur, they're too arrogant and cocky for my liking, and I think that, you have to talk the talk and walk the walk. And we know Dion is one of the best players ever. But I think that, after a while, people stop listening. You start talking, and then you go 4-8. Then you have a good year this year. Nobody cares, And I think that's kind of the perception. I think if they didn't talk as much shit last year, then people would be talking about Dion and Colorado and the Buffs a lot more in a positive light. But if you end up being, a shit talker and you don't back it up, then people, stop paying attention to you and they don't care about you anymore. But I'll tell you what, Travis Hunter is a G. I would take him in the NFL. Wisconsin threatening here with 28 seconds left. Offense not looking good. Defense not looking good. Wisconsin winning the battle at the line of scrimmage on the offensive line and the defensive line. They got a shitty quarterback, but a shitty quarterback can make a deep throw once in a while, and we get burnt over the top. And that's their first really deep throw, and it converts. And a nice catch there by the Badgers. And hopefully we can hold them to a 6-6 tie as we go into halftime. Yeah, well, Ferentz is not very good. He should have been fired like 5 years ago. But I don't think anybody really thinks he's good, so I don't know if we really think he's overrated. Because I don't think, you know what I mean? Like, if anything, it's like, that's the guy that should have been fired. Wisconsin booing, wanting a flag here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that should have definitely been PI. Jabbar Muhammad all over him. We're not going to be biased here. That was a penalty on Oregon, 150%. Third down and 6 should have been an automatic first down and a touchdown for the Badgers. But we'll see how it goes in the second half if we end up having a makeup call or something. All right, defense, step up. Oh, back shoulder. Incomplete. Any flags? And there's the makeup call. There's the makeup call. Yeah, but also, Megan, have you watched any Colorado games from beginning to end this year? Probably not. So if you watched him this year, he's very good, based on, the schedule and what they've been able to do this year. But also, too, you're going to a shittier conference into the Big 12. It's a lot easier to win games there than in the Pac-12. So that's another part of it, too, playing shittier competition. Pass, incomplete. Big hit by Oregon. But again, a lot of shit talking last year. They didn't live up to it. But again, this is year number 2, and they've turned it around, and they're a very good team this year. So. But if they didn't have Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sun at quarterback, or Travis Hunter, we wouldn't be talking about him today. Touchdown, Badgers. You got to watch the games. It's one thing to have a perception of someone, but again, things can change from game to game and year to year, and this year they have changed in a more of a positive route. And also they haven't been talking as much, so I think they kind of learned, You know, they came out, talk. Then they started off really strong, and you saw all the NBA players bandwagging like LeBron James, you know, thinking that they're the best thing since sliced bread, you know, trying to hop on the Deion bandwagon. Then Oregon beat the brakes off of them. They lost like 8 in a row after that. Then they kind of learned, okay, maybe we should like not talk so much shit. Then they got better coaches, you know, to help out with Deion, and they've actually had a very good season this year. But unfortunately, if you have a bad reputation, you know, even if it's just for like a year or two, sometimes it takes a while for you to get that corrected. Big touchdown there for the Badgers. 10-6, Wisconsin. Well, you tell me, did you watch every single Colorado game from beginning to end? You know, you got to understand, you assume, I assume, you know. Like, I never said I thought the Kraken was going to be terrible this year, so don't put words in my mouth, okay? But, you know, let's be honest with ourselves. You didn't watch Colorado play this year. You didn't watch their games from beginning to end. So we can be honest with each other, okay? Now, it's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's just, you know, stating facts. 6-3, Oregon. And then the big touchdown there by Wisconsin. 10-6, Wisconsin. Yeah, but the thing is if you actually watch their games from beginning to end, you wouldn't have made the statement before that you weren't really a believer on what they are. Because if you look at their record from last year to this year, you wouldn't be able to say that type of statement because they've improved dramatically. It's not like the team is like, 0-10 right now, you know. First down and 10, Oregon running out of time, and I imagine will they just take the knee here? Yeah, we're going to go to the locker room down by 4. Oh, no, trick play. Jordan James. Dan Lanning being tricky there. Gabriel. Do we get a timeout with 1 second to go? Nope. And we're at halftime. Poorest game of Oregon so far here in 2024, but still not something that we can't correct at halftime. But again, injuries, not winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. Dylan Gabriel not playing well. Wisconsin, giving their best effort, even though it's only 10. But still, that's a success for them to be able to be ahead of a number one team in the country at halftime. But hopefully we'll be able to make the right adjustments, and we can't lose to this team. All right, I got to get Paisley some dinner. 10-6, Wisconsin.
Excellent response from his team. TEKMND. They have played together. Tonight, 4-point Wisconsin lead. Oregon football to start the second half. Our studio crew takes it next. All crew. Can we get everybody together?
This is going to be the party of a lifetime, and nothing's gonna stop it.
I have my religion. It's called ice cream and puppies.
This is the start of a beautiful relationship. I'm gonna start to cry. I'm not going to because my makeup's good, but
I think the ending was simply the best. I love it.
The 3 for Me only at Chili is now available with the all-new Big Smasher Burger, pound of pie with nearly half a pound of beef. Or you can settle for just some other burger at a drive-thru. Anyway, come and meet the room, because the 3 for Me still fills up the table with the bottomless drinks, all the famous Chili's chips and sauce that you can eat, and it's still the best deal around at just $10.99. See you later. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
the moment I loved our Subaru Outback most was the moment they walked away from it. And that's why our family will only drive a Subaru.
Subaru. More IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than any other brand. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
Get special low rates on a new Subaru Outback for a limited time.
Good morning. I wanted to engage the team.
I wanted to think really big on this one, guys.
I want to close this deal. I love it. You got it, guys.
Love you, Mark.
Thanks for me. This is me, like we never see.
All right, I am back.
Badgers have the number one team in the nation on the ropes thanks to that sport by Will Pollard. Defense, offense.
All right, got Paisley some food, and hopefully we can correct some of these mistakes. But you have to give Wisconsin credit, you know. Like I said, it's not always going to be, you know, Oregon this, Oregon that. You know, sometimes you have to give credit to the other team, and that's probably one of the best first halves to only score 10 points that they've had all year. You know, again, you're not going to be scoring a lot on the Badgers, but again, winning the line of scrimmage was huge, and holding us to only 2 field goals and a few mistakes, definitely got to clean that up. We've gained 3 subs in this stream, so that's good. Let's go, baby. $58 subs to 20,700. Shout out to the 3 new subs on the channel. Appreciate you. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. See how close we are to getting to 20. And we've gained about 30 to 40 subs within the last few weeks. So shout out to all of those new subs as well as the OG subs that have been here for quite some time. And let's see where we're at. We need 5 more to get to 20. We're at 15, so a decent start. Let's go. Colorado, 8-2. And Utah was supposed to be much better this year in the Big 12, you know, with some individuals thinking that they might actually even win the Big 12. But again, the Big 12 is, you know, not a very good conference. You know, it's not like the Big 10 or the SEC. Ashton Genty, that's a stud right there. We'll be seeing him on Sundays. Makes you kind of wonder, where will he be? I mean, even if he ends up going to the Cowboys, you know, that's not going to solve their problems. And Jerry Jones can close the curtains for the Tyson Paul fight, but when his players like CeeDee Lamb need to catch a touchdown and the sun is in his eyes, obviously he doesn't care. Hilarious. I'd be mad as hell if I was a Cowboys fan. Jerry Jones, golly, terrible. Ooh, what a run. Penn State. This guy is amazing. This guy can play running back, fullback, tight end, you know, quarterback in like an RPO setting, or like a you know, kind of running like a wildcat. Tyler Warren is a G. He's like so versatile. Shit, they even had him at center. I mean, the most versatile player in college football. Him, obviously, we already know how good Travis Hunter can be, you know, at corner and wide receiver, but Tyler Warren is amazing. I would love to have a player like that.
Or he'll just run it in. When he's done many times, get like a 60-yard touchdown run a day. There's nothing he can't do.
Yeah. I mean, we saw him.
That's a good question. I will have to look that up. I don't know for sure. I mean, we haven't really been down that much all year. Let's take a quick peek.
Seriously, though, he had 17 receptions in that game. That was a game where he lined up at center and caught a receiving touchdown on the same play.
All right, let me see if I can pull up. I mean, I'm not going to be able to look to see exactly by halftime on everyone, but we'll take a quick peek. Horned Ducks. But if we actually were playing a good quarterback, we would be down by a hell of a lot more than 4. I mean, if we just go back from, let's see. Well, it's not giving me all of the like the halftime stuff, but I mean, we won 24-14 against Idaho, and they're a terrible team. We won 37-34 against Boise State in the game number 2, where it looked like we were going to lose, and that's when we were playing kind of shitty. And then after those first 2 games, we took off. Then we played the Beavers, 49-14, the Bruins, 34-13, Michigan State, 31-10, Ohio State, 32-31, and that one was one of the best games ever. Purdue, 35-0. Illinois, 38-9. Michigan, 38-17. Maryland last week, 39-18. And then now we're down by 4. So, again, if we're going to win this game, and the line of scrimmage is still going to be, won by Wisconsin, Dylan Gabriel has to start running the football with his legs, or, if he's going to keep continuing to throw the ball, I mean, you never know. We could have another tipped interception or a fumble by him or one of the running backs. But they better get their shit into gear, because the defense isn't really doing that great of a job. They're kind of playing a little lackluster in that first half. I mean, it could have been worse. We could be down like 17-6, but injuries are starting to catch up with us. And again, that offense, again, at times is a little mediocre, and I know some Oregon fans don't want to admit that, but it's true. Dylan Gabriel isn't really that good, like Jordan James at running back, he's our 1, and Noah Whittington is the 2, but this isn't fucking LaMichael James or Jonathan Stewart, or LeGarrette Blount, or Kenyon Barner. I mean, again, Jordan James is a pretty good back, but do we really have like NFL players at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end? I mean, they're pretty good for college, but as far as NFL standards are, I mean, we do have some NFL players on this Oregon Duck team, but mostly like on the offensive line and on the defense, not necessarily quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. And if they do go to the NFL at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, there's no guarantee that they pan out. And I think that's a fair statement. So.
The dog that Joshua called was the Arizona State game. We're going to keep our eye on it. They ran over, but I'm feeling good. All you do is this. Okay, start with the update. I'm checking the FCC. I look you taking on the Florida Gators. Oh, this is Gators there today.
All right, I'm looking here. All right, when we were played Idaho, we were up 14-0, so nothing there. I'll go week by week. And we were down 20-14 against Boise State, so we were down 6 in that game, and we won that one by 3. So we ended up coming back in that one. So 20-14 against Boise State, we were down, and we came back and won. Against the Beavers, we were up 22-14, so we weren't down in that one. I mean, like I said, we're not going to be down often. Okay, and then we played UCLA, and we were up 28-10, so not that one. And then we played Michigan State, and we were up 21-0 at half. So, I mean, we're talking probably about 4 to 6 points. So, I mean, definitely easy to come back. You just got to score. Let's look at the Ohio State one. That one, we were, what was it? We were up 22-21. So we were actually ahead by a point against Ohio State. And that's obviously the best team that we played all year. A team that could win the Natty this year, if it's not Oregon. Played Purdue. We were up 21-0 at half. Illinois, we were up 35-3 at half. So obviously ahead in that one. And then Michigan, 28-10, we were up. So, I mean, like I said, I think we've only been down twice at halftime all year. 4 points and 6 points. So, and then Maryland last week, we were up 21-10. So, yeah, 4 points and 6 points. So this is the the second most, that we've been down by. 4 is nothing, and then 6 in the Boise State game. So, and obviously we didn't play very good in that game either to start off. But again, we had injuries and we just didn't play well. So the most that we've been down is 4 and 6. So 4 here today, 6 at halftime to Boise State, but then we ended up coming back and winning in week number 2. So I'm confident that we're going to win this game. It's just got to clean some of these mistakes up. So that answered your question.
Biggest airline can do for you.
Walmart Black Friday deals are live. It's time to shop. Get this 50-inch Hisense TV for $138. It's Fisher-Price toilets worth just $5. And so many more deals you desire. Shop Walmart Black Friday deals now through the 17th.
Not binary.
Twins.
Twins?
Hey, look at us. Just over the house.
Too much.
But again, not every, matchup is going to be great. I would be more concerned with this Oregon team if we had Bo Nix and we had the team that we had from last year on offense, and if we only put up 6. Or if we had Marcus Mariota and we put up 6, or if we, had Joey Harrington and we put up 6, or we had Justin Herbert and we put up 6, then you're really freaking out, because you're like, oh my God, we got like these NFL guys and we're only putting up 6, and the defense hasn't played well. The offense hasn't played well. Wisconsin has won the line of scrimmage on both sides, the O-line and the D-line. And that's where we're at, but again, we have to be happy that they don't have a good quarterback, because if they did, we would probably be down 17-6 or 20-6 at this point. So we have to be happy that, their quarterback is, average to below average. So, and hopefully we'll get some, better schemes on defense. And the bottom line, we just have to be able to play better, less penalties, got to get to the quarterback and cause problems. And the offense has to execute better. Even with the injuries, we can't use that as an excuse. But again, I felt like the play calling by Stein was very vanilla, kind of reminding me of those first 2 weeks where we played Idaho and Boise State, and it didn't look very good at all. So again, where's the RPO and where's Dylan Gabriel running the fucking football? I mean, I'm not a fucking college head coach or coordinator, right? But it's pretty common sense. If you're not doing very good with your arm and you're not really known as like a true pure passer, even though you might be up in the rankings as one of the most, yards and touchdowns in college football history in Dylan Gabriel, but he doesn't have the smoothness or the touch or the accuracy of like a Bo Nix or a Justin Herbert or a Marcus Mariota or even a Joey Harrington. Again, like for me, I would never buy a jersey of Dylan Gabriel. He's an outsider from Oklahoma that came in. Do I appreciate that we have a quarterback as good as him, on this team? Yes, but the quarterbacks in 2024 really aren't that good. And again, we have one of the better ones, but I mean, if you compare it to a lot of the quarterbacks that we've had in the past, he's really not that good. He's still going to be in the Heisman, candidacy with all the others and whatnot, but it's not like he's going to win it. Travis Hunter is more deserving. Genty is more deserving. Cam Ward, Quinn Ewers, some of these other guys, depending on, wins and stats that you're looking at. Gabriel obviously is on the number 1 team, so he's got that going for him. But I wouldn't want Dylan Gabriel to be the Ducks quarterback next year. I mean, just because a player is on my team doesn't mean I'm going to fall in love with every player that's on the roster just because they're wearing the O. Sometimes, certain players, are a good fit and others are transfers, and, it is what it is. So, but hopefully we can find enough offense in the second half to get this dub, which I feel we will. Dylan Gabriel, 15 for 20, 152 yards, no touchdowns and 1 pick. 1 carry for 4 yards. Problem. right? And then Jordan James, 11 carries for 50 yards. And imagine if Jordan James wasn't playing today and he was still hurt. Maybe we only have 3 points at this point, or maybe even a 0. Evan Stewart, 8 receptions, 72 yards, leading the team. But then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with only 1 catch. You got to spread the ball around more than just 8 receptions to Evan Stewart and everyone else has got 1. That's a problem. So hopefully we'll be able to clean that up. And then Braden Locke, 7 for 17, 64 yards. Not good at all, but he had 1 deep throw, and then he had obviously that good throw into the red zone, 1 touchdown, no pick. And then sometimes that's the way that the ball bounces. Walker, 12 carries, 63 yards. Dupree, 4 carries, 11 yards. And then as far as receiving, they only have, obviously that 1 deep throw, 2 receptions for 40 yards. 43 was the long for Anthony. And then obviously that little short route by Pauling, 2 receptions for 9 yards in that tutty. So but no interceptions. Where are the fumbles? Where's the sack lunches? Something's got to change. Oh, wow. This is wild. Both teams have a player named Atticus. That's wild. What are the chances of that? We have obviously Atticus Sappington as our kicker, and then Wisconsin's punter, Atticus Bertrams. Wow. Wild. No worries. We got you here.
So let's take this one
To change the momentum.
We call it timeout.
On hate. Together.
All right, let's take a look at some team stats. All right, first downs, Wisconsin 10, Oregon 9. And when is the last time that you've seen a team that has more first downs, at half? Maybe only Boise State when we were down in that particular game. Third down efficiency, normally we kick ass in that. 3 for 7. Wisconsin, much worse, only 1 for 7. Total yards, 209 for Oregon, 138 for Wisconsin. Passing yards, 152 to 64, but they were the ones that had the big deep play and then the touchdown pass. Rushing, not good. 57 yards for Oregon, 74 for Wisconsin, and our players are better. Penalties is really the key. 6 for 50 for Oregon, 4 for 30 for Wisconsin. 1 turnover for us, none for them. And then the time of possession is almost even. 15-30 for Oregon, 14-30 for Wisconsin. So 9 plays, -8 total yards, 0 points in the first 3 drives. Last 3 drives, 27 plays, 146 yards, and obviously 10 points. But again, you got to go to someone other than Evan Stewart. Let's go. Go Ducks. And that's a problem too, those red zone interceptions. He had 2 in one game. Now he's got another. And if we don't win the Natty, that's going to be the reason. It's going to be Dylan Gabriel's fault. But not just his fault. It's going to be the offensive line, the defensive line, the defense. But again, you cannot have interceptions in the fucking red zone. It's one to have it in the 20 to the 20, but when you're just about to score and then you throw a pick, it's like the most deflating thing that you can fucking do. Besides throwing like a pick 6 or having a fumble for a touchdown. All right, Oregon, let's go. Let's go, baby. We need a little bit of this. A little bit of that, especially this. Run the damn ball. That way we can get this and we can have him get excited in the end zone with the tutty. Let's go. Bring that electricity. Focus. There was a lot of yelling in that fucking locker room. Let's go. Let's go Ducks. Give credit where credit's due. Wisconsin played a great first half. That was our worst first half all year. Screen pass. There we go. There we go. And you got to be able to get the football out quickly. Dylan Gabriel has this tendency of hanging onto the football too long sometimes. And again, got to get the ball out quick and let your playmakers get good yak yards after the quick catch. Great first call there by Stein right out of the gates in the third quarter. Love that play. Another screen to the other side. Blockers downfield. There we go. And pretty soon, when you start running these little screen passes to each side, then what will happen is Gabriel can pump fake, and then you can end up doing kind of a stop and go, and that'll end up leading to a big, big play down the field because they're going to cheat up. And again, when they have 8 in the box, and then you go screen, 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 and then all of a sudden pump fake, and then you go deep, stop and go, that's when we might end up getting that big receiving touchdown. Either that or a big interception if he doesn't throw it with finesse and touch. Gabriel? Run! Terrible throw. What is that, Gabriel? Let's go, baby. Wisconsin fans getting into it, which they should. But again, you're going to have to face adversity, and we've only had adversity, maybe 3 times this season. Boise State, right? Ohio State, this game. It's a part of the beast. It's part of the nature of the game. Gabriel, run! Run! This is why I don't like Dylan Gabriel. Like I said, I appreciate that he is one of the top 3, top 4, quarterbacks that are in this particular draft class. And then as we have Ferg fucking fall down, are you fucking kidding me? Golly, that's what happens when things are not going your way. Normally that would have been a Ferg touchdown, and he just trips over himself and falls down a foot in front of the football. Ducks with the punt. Megan with a tenner. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. $10 holla, appreciate you. We're at 15, 85 to go. But it's starting to finally kind of seep through, Gabriel's talent level, the offensive line kind of getting beat up a little bit. The players at running back and wide receiver, tight end being injured, and not having a full strength skill position. And even if we were full strength, these guys are not as good as the traditional Oregon offense. And so if you end up getting a good defense, this is what you get in return. You get kind of a lackluster performance. First down, Badgers. Bye, Greg. You can always tell when you get someone that is a hater and that's new to the channel. Handoff, bouncing it to the outside. Some people recognize the hard work and the time and the energy that's put in. Others, they just like to hate, Not everyone is going to have the work ethic of a beast. Let them know, Will. And that kind of comment, would slide on every other channel, not here. There's no coming back from that ever. It's like if you want to disrespect someone, I'm not the one to do that to. Trips left, shotgun set, handoff up the middle, first down, Badgers. We haven't seen the offensive line and the defensive line get beat up like this all season. Come on, Oregon. We're a defensive-minded team this season. You got to be able to make the plays because obviously we can't count on Dylan Gabriel winning the game for us. The defense has got to win the game for us. We got to get a punch out, an interception, a fumble, a pick six, a fumble for a touchdown, a special teams touchdown. We're going to have to get something because obviously we're not going to be able to bank on Gabriel every single offensive possession here in the second half. Now, I would assume the offense will score at least one touchdown, but I don't know how many touchdowns that we're going to get. I think it's safe to say probably not many. Maybe one or two if we're lucky, unless we end up getting really hot at the right time. Second down and 3. Too easy for Wisconsin. First down, Badgers.
They started this game, they were trying to run stops. They were getting completely stuck with the line of scrimmage. It's a little bit wider. It takes a little bit
Yeah. There's a lot of idiots on the internet. Let me tell you. There's a lot of idiots in the world. Handoff up the middle. First down, Badgers. And again, this is a great game plan by Wisconsin, right? They already know that they're winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. They understand that their quarterback isn't good and can't throw. So if that's the case, what do? You run, right? Until we end up stopping them. And right now, even with our, top 10 D, we don't have an answer. Crazy thing is, this is probably one of the shittier Wisconsin teams in the last, 5 to 10 years. If this was like one of their better teams, we would be fucked today. I mean, it's not looking good here, but thank God we're only down by 4, not by 14 or 17. But again, if the defense doesn't step up, this game could end up being an upset. And this would be a horrible team to lose to. I would have rather lost to Ohio State, not fucking Wisconsin. Let's go. Got to keep the faith. Another injury for another Oregon Duck player. Unreal.
The way the game started was like, they're not ready for that. But then it really settled in and started to establish some physicality at the line of scrimmage.
We're going to do the same here. Dupree up the middle.
Dupree up the middle, almost for a first down. I mean, literally, Wisconsin, all they need to do is just hand the football off to 2 different running backs the rest of the game, and they'll probably win. I mean, what's the answer? We don't have one. And then at the very moment where we put 8 in the box, 9 in the box, that's when they're going to throw the ball and probably get a touchdown on us or a big offensive gain. We're playing right into the hands of the Badgers here in this game. And this is a game that we really would need a better quarterback like Bo Nix to be able to manufacture good offense. And again, these are the type of weaknesses that get exposed when you have a guy like a Dylan Gabriel. Fourth down and 1. First down, Badgers. Well, the thing is Wisconsin's 5-4, 3-3. It's like they're like an average team. They're not great, but obviously being at home instead of us being in Eugene, it's a different environment. We wouldn't be down 10-6 if this game was in Oregon. I'll tell you that. The fans wouldn't, we wouldn't be down at this particular score. But we could possibly be down, though. Walker with the short gain. But again, this is the first game besides the first 2 in the year against Idaho and Boise State where, we're getting kind of pushed around and beat up a little bit. Again, we didn't look good in the first 2 games because of injuries and having to test new guys on the offensive line. Gabriel didn't have enough time to really go through his progressions, wasn't throwing the football well, not making good decisions, and we almost lost those first couple games. We beat Idaho, and then the Boise State one, we could have lost that one, but we found a way late. But something has to give here. Second down and 5. Dupree. First down, Badgers. Not good. I mean, you could probably play this game 10 times and have this happen a couple, you know, but you got to give Wisconsin credit. But normally when we end up facing a test like this, the defense is the one that bails us out. Like Gabriel throws like a red zone pick, or he plays not very accurate, reads and going through, the different progressions. And then the defense bails us out, with a big pick, a big fumble, a big sack. But we haven't been able to do that today. Offensive line getting dominated, defensive line getting dominated. They got a below average quarterback. He doesn't have to throw the ball. All they do is run. And we have no answer. Can we get a turnover, please? Rip it out. Punch it out. Nico Reed there. Who's going to be the guy that steps up and makes the play? Do you guys want this or not? I mean, there's not very many undefeated teams left, and we've seen Bama lose, Georgia lose, Ohio State lose, Texas lose. So it's like, anybody can beat anyone on any given Saturday in college football, but I don't think anyone was anticipating, their O-line and their D-line to play this well against Oregon. 3rd and goal. Get him! Get him! Touchdown, Badgers. Did he go past the line of scrimmage there? He had to have gone past the line of scrimmage on that. There's no way that was a touchdown. Didn't he get past the line of scrimmage? I need a replay. That's a flag. There's no way in hell that counts. They're smoking some fucking crack thinking that was a touchdown. Fuck out of here. Damn right. Yeah, that's already what I want. I want to win this game. I want to beat Washington. I want to play Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. If we win, we win. We lose, we lose. And then I want to play Ohio State in the Natty if we could get that far. That's what I would want. I would want to play Ohio State 2 more times. But again, I mean, if we were playing Ohio State today, shit, we'd be down probably 30-6 right now. So. But good attempt with the left-handed throw for the tutty there. Trying to do his own version of Patrick Mahomes. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Smash that like button for your boys so we can get to 20. I don't know what we're at, but we got to be getting close. 3rd and goal. Hold to a field goal. Yeah! It's 12 noon, and you know what time it is? A timely sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. And we should have had 5 or 6 or 7 of those already. But hey, better late than never. Golly. I mean, normally we're used to getting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sack lunches. Field goal is up and good. And finally, right, we end up getting the quarterback from behind. They kick the field goal. It is good. We're only down a touchdown. And obviously, sometimes you got to win in an ugly way, and hopefully the offense can get going. But really, what's going to determine us winning this game is the O-line and the D-line, not just Dylan Gabriel. There we go. 13-6. Badgers. Nice job by Wisconsin. Jacob, do your boy a solid and smash that like button if you haven't done it yet. I'd appreciate it. Now we need 4 more to get to 20. Let's get there, baby.
The 3 for me only at Chili is now available with the all-new Big Smasher Burgers. How the pop with nearly half a pound of beef. Or you can settle for just some other burger at a drive-thru. Anyway, somebody needs some room. Because the 3 for me still fills up the table with the bottomless drink, all the famous Chili's chips and sauces you can eat, and it's still the best deal around at just $10.99. See you later, time to grab. This Chili's 3 for me is the best $10.99 you can eat. Karen's about to retire. Here's what's going into her retirement.
I'm never gonna stop.
Retirement is the sum of your life's work. Get income for life and protect your life's work with Prudential.
The moment I loved our Subaru Outback most was the moment they walked away.
Yeah, I mean, if the game's not over, it's not like there's like 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I mean, we got all of the third quarter and all of the fourth quarter, and again, it's not just Oregon playing bad. It's really, the question is Wisconsin is playing really, really good, and for some Oregon fans, they're not going to give Wisconsin any credit. They're just going to blame it all on, Lanning and Stein, the OC. They're going to blame it on Gabriel, blame it on the offense and the defense. But again, if you're watching the same game, Wisconsin's been doing a lot of good things for being kind of an average team, 5-4. They're at home. They're feeding off the Uncle Mo and the momentum with the crowd. The offensive line and the defensive line have been 10 out of 10. They've been pushing Oregon back and winning the line of scrimmage. And it shows you, if you can win the line of scrimmage, you can be a 5-4 team and be beating up a team that's 10-0. And that's for any type of, matchup, NFL or college football. But hopefully we'll be able to find a little bit of Uncle Mo and rhythm for ourselves here. Yeah, we're still going to win this game. It might not be by very much. I mean, it might end up being only by 1, 2, or 3, but I still think that we're going to win. That's why we play 4 quarters. But I mean, if you really want to, get back into the groove of things, I need to see Dylan Gabriel run the football with his legs. You start doing that, and that's when we start moving the football. And obviously, we cannot afford, an interception or a fumble or any, we can't afford that, being in this position down by 7. Good. I was about to give you an RKO. What's good? Yeah, I feel like I'm a completely different than any other streamer or like hardcore fan. Most fans, they love their team, they love their players, and it's like fuck everybody else. And fuck everybody else in the division, fuck every other team, fuck all the other coaches. It's all about me, my players, my team. And if you're not wearing that team name and those colors, then fuck everybody else. That's just kind of the mentality for a lot of people that watch sports. But again, I feel the people in this room, for the most part, me especially, I like to appreciate greatness. Again, not everything is gonna, the ball isn't always gonna bounce in your corner every single time, and sometimes you just got to recognize greatness and where it's at, and you also have to recognize when you're getting outplayed. Instead of making excuses, you have to, hold yourself accountable. And I feel like a lot of people don't. They love to be able to put the blame on someone else instead of putting the blame on yourself. If you fuck up, apologize, and, move forward and, go from there, but again, words are one thing, but actions are another, But we're still in the thick of it. I mean, obviously it's not looking good at this point, but at least we ended up getting a sack lunch. So at least we know that we can get to the quarterback, and we're only down 7, which is not ideal, but it could be much worse. I mean, imagine if we were down 16-6, if we were down 20-6, if we were down 21-6, then we probably would lose because I don't think we have enough time to come back unless we were able to get like back-to-back drives and score, or to score on offense and score on defense. So we're actually in a very good position, even though we played like shit up to this point. So, all right, I got to go get my water here. Give me 1 sec.
The 10-7 is brought to you by Copilot Plus PCs, powered by Snapdragon. By Modelo, the reward for full-time fans. And by Xfinity. Stream sports with Xfinity because it's only live once. A couple of Rose Bowl matchups between these two programs. 2012, it was Oregon 45, Wisconsin 38. And in 2014,
Justin Herbert led the way. If you watch the touchdowns, 14.7 under 6 Oregon over the break.
Let's go. We need a little bit of this. Not having Tez is definitely showing, that we don't have the depth, and it took all the way till, week number 11, week 12, to kind of get exposed. We didn't get exposed, in the Ohio State game. The Boise State game, we didn't play very well, but we were able to come back. But this is like the first game where you're starting to see, with injuries to Tez, Jordan James, not being 100%, Dylan Gabriel, not really that good of a quarterback, if we're being honest. Again, he's not Bo Nix, he's not Mariota, he's not Herbert, he's not Harrington. He's been able to get away with the defense kind of bailing him out and having good players around him. But this is the type of game where we need him to play better. You got to be able to execute and not have these bad fucking throws. You have to be confident in your abilities, and not try to be Superman and do too much. I don't need to see him fucking try to be Cam Newton out there. He starts to press and do too much, we're going to lose. So hopefully he understands his role, which I think he will. Find the way to get the ball to Jordan James, find the way to get the ball to Evan Stewart, find a way to get it to Ferg if he doesn't fucking fall down. And then hopefully we can end up getting some points and first downs. Pass incomplete. No, I was just waiting for you to be able to let me know what you wanted. I did. I don't know if you were, if you stepped out from the computer or whatnot, but we recognized it. But I can recognize it again if you'd like. 13-6 Badgers. But just let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. And we appreciate you. No, we got it. But I can do it again if you like. Because we talked about the Kraken and USC, but I don't know. Again, this game has been pretty wild, but we did acknowledge it already. But again, if you want me to acknowledge it again, I can. There we go. Well, if it comes up, I'm just waiting on you to let me know what you want to see. But we did go this route already, but here it is again. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang, bang. I don't miss things like that. Plus, when it comes up highlighted and whatnot, it's kind of hard to miss. Here we go. Starting to gain a little momentum. There we go. First down. Ducks. Jordan James. Here we go. Let's go, baby. We're at 15:85 to go. Shout out to all the people that liked, sub, donated, commented, and shared so far. Shout out to Wisconsin and their fan base, as well as this team. They're playing very well here today. Giving Oregon everything that they got. Trips right, shotgun set, hand off to Jordan James. There we go, Jordan. If they're going to pound the rock, we got to be able to pound the rock as well. There we go. Offensive line needs to dig a little bit deeper. And obviously, if we had a guy like Jackson Powers Johnson, we would probably have scored already by now. These guys got to dig very, very deep. Reflect in the building. What's good? Short game. What's good? Yeah, we've only had 2 donos up to this point, and I acknowledge both of them, so I'm not sure if you stepped away from the computer or not, but I've already acknowledged them multiple times, so. And I appreciate you. I'm not sure if you stepped away or weren't paying attention, but yeah, I already went down that route. I'm not going to miss, donos. It's not like we get 50 donos in a stream and I'm going to miss one. 3rd down and 5. I mean, when you have a high-profile game like this and we're losing, you know, obviously our attention is going to be on the game, but I can throw up photos at any point. You just let me know. 12 noon, you know what time it is. Time for a Badger sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Reflect with a tenner. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. So, Megan, let me know what you want. Reflect, let me know what you want. If anything, I got you. Appreciate you. End of the third quarter, 13-6, Badgers. Got to get a touchdown. If we have to get a field goal and, you know, make it 13-9, we're going to pretty much take whatever they're going to give us. But, you know, that's what happens when you get, beat in the line of scrimmage. And it's one thing to get beat on one side of the ball, like the offensive line. But when the offensive line is getting beat up, the defensive line is getting beat up, then this is sometimes what happens with the score. So. But if you guys want photos, this would be the time to type it in the chat. Let me know what you're wanting. No, I did not miss it. I don't know how many times I got to say it. I've already done it multiple times. I don't know. I don't know if your computer is lagging. I don't know if you walked away, but I don't know what you want from me. You know, if you want me to read it off like 4 times, but I've done it already 3 times now. And if you want me to do it again, it's a little repetitive, but I don't know what to tell you. I saw it. I acknowledged it. I read it. I don't know if you were paying attention or not, but this is now the 4th time. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, Cactus Jack. There it is. USC, Kraken. It's a good day. And hopefully you're paying attention and can see that. But that's the 4th time now. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Not sure if there's internet issues on that side or not, but
Scroll out. Oh, I'm cramping. Yeah. For savings and service, get more with Showboat at this overboard.
Every dono has been acknowledged. Now you just need to let me know what you want. We're going into the 4th quarter, 13-6, Wisconsin. I'm a little confused what you want from me. And hopefully we can end up getting some offense going, but not having Tez has definitely been pretty rough. But hopefully we can end up running the football at some point. Sounds good. Let's do that. You got anything specific that you want?
Where does the story take place? Destinations far, far, far away, or ones you used to call home. And if you need to rewrite it, there's no fee to change your flight. Where should we go next? Well, that's up to you. Because when we built the world's biggest airline, we built it around you.
I love Montana, but I'm doing this for family.
Yeah. Why are we going for it here? Wow. Oh, my God. Ferg, after falling down, right? And you got to think, like, we played terrible today, got beat up in the line of scrimmage, and then for Ferg to be on his knees to be able to make up for falling down on that deep throw in the third quarter, that could have been the difference between us, possibly tying this game up and maybe even winning it or losing it. There we go. There we go. There we go. I didn't really agree with that, but again, at some point or another, I guess you have to take chances, right? We've been really conservative, haven't really been able to get our offense going. Defense hasn't played well. Wisconsin's played great. Great O-line, great D-line. Quarterback is kind of average, but he hasn't really had to throw. They just pound the rock. We haven't had an answer. And hopefully now we don't have another red zone interception or we're going to lose the game. Pound the rock. Pound the rock. And again, we don't need to be dancing out there. We need to put our foot down and go downhill. Yeah, I'll sprinkle in a little bit of everything. There we go. Touchdown, Oregon. Let's go. Finally. Holy moly. We haven't had to wait to the fourth quarter to score a touchdown in years. Oh, my goodness. There we go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Better late than never. And that Uncle Mo, sometimes you got to take a risk, and it's kind of stupid to go for it on 4th and 9, but when you've been getting your ass kicked the whole game, sometimes you got to go for it. You've already, tried so many times in the first 3 quarters. And sometimes when you end up making an emotional first down, it leads to another first down and another one. And, I was going to say, just kick the extra point. Extra point is up and good. And we're tied, baby. We're going to win this. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, man. But again, I kind of expected, it to be a little difficult at some point. Wisconsin, maybe Washington when we play them. And honestly, I was thinking if we were going to have a game like this, I was thinking it was going to be against the Huskies, not against Wisconsin. But again, you get surprised, here and there. So try to squeeze in some photos here. $13-13. Let's go, baby. Hell yeah. And just for all the people that have donated up to this point, anything that they want to be able to see, you just let me know. And like I said, I will try to sprinkle it in as soon as I possibly can. So I'm not going to try to leave anybody hanging or, I'm going to try to get it done as quickly as I can. So
in our communities, on our streets, in our schools, we need to stop.
So let's take this moment
To change the momentum
we call a timeout.
on hate together.
At US Bank, when we say we're in it with you, we mean it. Not just for the good stuff, but for all the hard work it took to get there. We are in for all of it. Because there's nothing as powerful as us.
Thanks. What'd you get? Oh, I got another double shot, double cream, double.
That's a cool little collage right here of Caleb.
Sweet. Did you know that Discover?
Let's go, baby. See if I can squeeze in one last one here. Get maybe him in the white uni. Ashton Genty. There we go. Appreciate you. We're tied up finally. Let's go, baby. Oh, Uncle Mo is back. I mean, it took a long time. I mean, I gave him the directions and he fucking got lost, right? He took 2 lefts and not 2 rights, but hell, better late than never. And Uncle Mo is back, and hopefully we can end up getting a big defensive play here. And if we can get a defensive stop or a turnover and then score again, then the momentum will really be going. 100%. Yeah, sometimes college football is better than the NFL, so. I mean, the only downside to college football is that they don't have enough good teams playing each other. Like, you know, if we ended up having like a top 30, top 40, top 50, then it would be a little bit more interesting, you know, since you have 100 Division I teams and it's like, you know, you get one team that's ranked number 2 and then you're playing someone that's ranked like 100, but they don't have the 100 next to their school name, you know, so it's like you have blowouts every week. And then maybe in college football, you'll have 1 to 4 games out of a whole slate that will be like ranked opponent, or a ranked opponent and an opponent that should be ranked. And if they win against the ranked opponent, they will be, you know, but again, a lot of times it's like, you know, you get these like really good teams, you know, like an Alabama playing a fucking Mercer. You shouldn't have Mercer on the schedule this late, you know, padding your stats, but I guess that's what Alabama is doing. But, you know, but every once in a while you can have a ranked opponent against an unranked opponent like this. Everyone's going after, you know, Oregon with the target on their back with the number 1, right? And, you know, you got to give Wisconsin the credit, but thank God Oregon finally got into the end zone. My goodness. Google Maps was off. I mean, we're talking about using a map with our hands, like physical map. You know, a lot of the people in the room are old enough to know what a physical map is. For some of the youngins in the room, probably not. But that's how we actually had to do things, you know? Like, imagine being a pizza driver back in the day. They didn't have GPS. You know, it's like pretty much you called them on the phone, and if they didn't come in 30 minutes to an hour, you know, you might get the pizza at a discounted price. And pretty crazy. You had to be very good with your vehicle back in the day to be a consistent, you know, driver for a pizza organization. Kind of mind-blowing if you really think about it. Yeah, 32 is too big, you know, but I'm thinking, you know, 16, you know, to 24, you know, is probably more realistic, you know what I mean? But again, if we end up having almost half of the NFL teams out of 32 that make the playoffs, almost half, like, you know, at one point it's like BCS, like 3 or 4, you know, teams that actually have a chance. And then now we're trying to expand and make it a little bit more fair. And obviously with Harbaugh and Saban out of the picture and the NIL deals and no loyalty for the coaches and the players, transfers, transfer portal, this is the first time in college football history where it feels like it's going to be a little bit more even than it's ever been in college football. So 13-13, we need the Duck defense to step up. Let's go. Map and compass, baby. Let's go. We need a big defensive stop. We need a turnover. There we go. Hit his ass. There we go.
Into the backfield, and that forced Walker to try to cut this back. And then the rest of them punctures again as they rattle to the football very quickly. Very athletic defense. That was more similar to the first 2 possessions.
The only sad thing is if you end up going from, you know, 12 to 16 to 18 to 24, there's always going to be people bitching and moaning, just like it was in the BCS. And, you know, the only crazy part is that the rankings for the AP and the coaches poll have nothing to do with the college football playoff people that are voting. It seems like the people that should be in the college football playoff poll aren't there. and a lot of the positioning is wrong. So I'm a little weary on if they're actually going to get the right, teams in the playoff when it all comes, down to it. There's going to be some teams that are left out that deserve to be there. 3rd down and long. Ducks bringing blitz. Big hit. Ooh, Ungalale. Say that 10 times fast. Good throw there by Braden Locke. CJ Williams takes a pop. Bang, baby. That's what we call laying the wood. Well, they do count because they do an Associated Press poll and they have people voting there. They have a coaches poll. They have people, obviously there, right? So you got that. But then with the college football playoff and that poll, a little bit different. Looks like we got a nice little spike in the boost. 141 in the room. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. For everyone that is a regular in the room, make sure you know what to do here. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the donos up. Let's get the conversations up. We want to make sure we're taking advantage of any type of spike that we're getting in the stream, especially when Oregon has a chance to lose. We went from, a decent amount, a little bit of a spike. Let's keep that spike going. 13-13, Ducks and Wisconsin. Knotted up, 11-14 left. Now 10:57 left in the 4th. Let's go. Wisconsin with the punt. And we're at 25:75 to go. Let's go. Let's go. We haven't played that well, in this particular matchup, but you got to give credit to Wisconsin. Offensive line, fantastic. Defensive line, fantastic. And the bottom line is, I've been a fan of Oregon since the 80s. Dylan Gabriel might be one of the bigger names in the college football scene, but I feel like the quarterback class, in 2024 really hasn't been, as good as some of the previous years. You got Quinn Ewers, you got Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, but how many of these guys are actually going to pan out in the NFL? And I think we have more question marks than answers. And again, injuries have caught up to us, and hopefully we can find a way to win this, even if that means us winning only by 3 at this point, getting dominated for the first 3 quarters, we'll take it. So if you're just hopping in, Atticus Sappington with 2 field goals in the first quarter. We were up 6-0. Then obviously a field goal by Wisconsin to make it 6-3. Then a deep long pass to get them into good field goal range. Another quick little slant, 10-6. And obviously that was the score at halftime. Wisconsin with the lead. Then another field goal to give them a 13-6 lead in the 3rd quarter. And then finally Jordan James, getting the football and, starting to kind of get the offense in gear. 11-yard gain for a tutty. Atticus Sappington with the extra point. And again, we've been on our win streak in the last 5 or 6 games. We've been averaging about 30 to 39 points. So we're definitely far below, what we normally do. But again, sometimes you have trap games. Sometimes you have games that when you're on the road and you just don't play well. But the bottom line is, Dylan Gabriel is not Bo Nix. Dylan Gabriel is not Justin Herbert. Dylan Gabriel is not Marcus Mariota. Dylan Gabriel is not Joey Harrington. He is a capable quarterback. But again, I feel with him and with Stein, the OC, they haven't really been on the same page, obviously here today. But I think that if we can just do enough and find a way to get a couple stops, we can end up winning this game in an ugly fashion. So hopefully that ends up happening. Truth teller in the building. What's good? Let's go, baby. Almost at 200 people. Let's go. But you have to understand, not every game is going to go your way. Again, sometimes the other team is going to, see that Oregon Duck team with that number 1 next to their name. They're going to give them their 100% best effort. It's going to be like their natty effort. This is like their bowl game, right? And obviously we know that it's not going to be easy. If I have my choice, obviously I would want to be able to run the table, go to the Big Ten championship, play Ohio State after they beat Indiana, right? And then play Ohio State in the Natty. That's who I would want to play. I think those are the 2 best teams in the country right now. But again, if we go into the college football playoff, we have no idea who's going to end up being there at the end of the day. But again, You know, you're not going to be able to play mistake-free, injury-free, and just play top-tier football, you know, in every single game in the regular season. But you got to give Wisconsin credit. They're taking advantage of the home crowd, and they've been winning the line of scrimmage. They've been very, very good today. Shout out to Wisconsin and their fan base. False start. Too many penalties here for Oregon. Let's go. Let's go. Truth teller. Oh, what part of Washington, my guy? Gabriel. Ooh, big hit. And Wohler, I was waiting for him to make a play. He's on the thumbnail. And again, I was just waiting for a chance for him to be able to make the play. And there he is, laying the wood. 2nd down and 7 on the Oregon 35. And it feels like, the confidence is starting to come back. Trips right. Shotgun set. Gabriel. What did I say earlier in the game? Dylan Gabriel needs to run the football. When we run the football, we're going to be effective. I know this team. I've been watching this team since the 80s, and again, when you end up being a little shaky and a little uneasy, right? And you might not be a pure passing quarterback like a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix Jr., right? You're more of like a Tim Tebow-like, right? Fucking run the ball. And the first time they actually run the ball, they get a huge gain. Am I surprised? No, I'm not. Stonewall by Jordan James, short gain. Keep having Dylan Gabriel run RPO and run the ball. Let's go. Puget Sound, nice. Second down and 10 on the Oregon 43. Jordan James with a no gain. Shotgun set, trips right. We got to be quick. Shotgun set. Gabriel with another run, but then caught from behind. But again, I would rather have them, implement the runs, with Gabriel, because again, you have to work your confidence in there. It's like in the NBA, you go 0 for 7 from 3. You're not going to just keep continuing to take threes. You go for the layup, you go for the jumper, and then you work your way out, inside out after outside in wasn't working. If you're not really smooth with it with the throws and you have good legs, run the ball. 3rd down and 10, one of the biggest plays of the game here tonight in the 4th quarter on the Oregon 43. Trips right. Shotgun set. Good protection up front. Blitz. Gabriel. Throw it away. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Big sack lunch there on Wisconsin, and this is why I say Dylan Gabriel is not Bo Nix. He is not Marcus Mariota. He is not Justin Herbert. He is not Joey Harrington. You got to get rid of the fucking football. As soon as you see a corner or a linebacker blitzing off the edge, you fucking call it a wash. You call it a day. You throw the football away. You're not going to be able to make a superstar play. You got to be able to understand, when to take a sack, when to throw it away, and obviously have an incomplete pass would have been much better in that situation. And the Ducks with the punt. .307 in the building, baby. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. And this is going to be a tough one, for fans like myself that have been a Duck fan since the 80s, or, for fans that are a little bit newer to the game. But you got to give credit where credit is due. The Badgers have been putting in work, and they've been winning the line of scrimmage for the Ducks. And again, I wish that Dylan Gabriel and Stein would have been able to have Gabriel run the football in the first 3 quarters, and maybe we would have a lead at this point. But the one time that they end up running the ball, he gets a huge gain, and then they kind of go away from it. He ended up running it again, getting only a couple, but, again, it shouldn't be people that are fans that can implement a better game plan than the actual offensive coordinators in college football. Come on, Stein, wake up.
Mitsubishi Zero Sales Event,
Yeah, I think the Indiana-Ohio State matchup will be competitive. And, again, if I had my wish, I would want Ohio State and Oregon in the Big Ten championship. Ohio State beating Indiana, which I think they will. And then hopefully that we get into Oregon, Ohio State natty. And I know for some people, I know Mike obviously in the room, he would love it. I would love it. And I think that those are the two best teams in college football. And I think that would give you the most excitement that you saw in the past, whether it be Georgia and Bama or Georgia and Ohio State or Bama and Ohio State. And I feel that, that would be something that would be special and it would get a lot of good ratings. And, it would be very difficult to beat a team 3 times in a row. So, if we end up playing Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, I wouldn't be shocked if they beat us, and got a little payback and revenge for that 1-point win we had in Autzen. But, you never know how things might play out. But if I had my wish, that's what I would want. I want Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, whether we win or lose. And then I want Ohio State in the natty if we can both get there. So, but again, we got to take care of this fucking win first before we talk about all those other things. All right, 8 minutes to go. What a game. But you already knew things were a little off when we had 2 field goals in the first quarter. Like, when's the last time that Oregon had 2 field goals in the first quarter and that was it? So that was kind of the foreshadowing of what kind of game this was going to be. The offensive line has been better for Wisconsin. The defensive line has been better for Wisconsin. And finally, we were able to get a couple, good positive plays together and move the chains. And now the defense has got to win the game for us. Into the turf, incomplete. Here we go. Yeah. The only thing, though, about Ohio State, though, is the quarterback isn't very good. Howard isn't very good. Like if you guys had CJ Stroud, then I'd be like, okay, we're probably going to get our ass kicked. But, I don't think Dylan Gabriel is very good for us either. But again, based on the college football landscape, they might be better than most of the quarterbacks that are out there. But I think that we can both agree that we've had quarterbacks that have been much better than the guys that we have this year. There we go. Well, again, it's hard to be undefeated. There's a reason why, a lot of the top tier teams have losses. It's not Alabama and Georgia, winning it all every single year anymore. Obviously it's definitely up in the air and you can't expect, every team that's number 1 or number 2 or number 3 to blow out every team that they play, by 20, 30 points. Sometimes you're going to have tough matchups or you have injuries or you just don't play well and the other team plays great. You got to give the other team credit. Lock. Wow. First down, Badgers, but we have a flag on the play, probably holding on the Badgers offensive line. Bring that fucking shit back. Bring that shit back. Flag on the play, laundry on the field. Well, young Jay, if you could actually do math, 13-13 is actually a tie, so you need to go back to school and learn your math, my guy. It's a tie game. We're not down, but we were. Still have time to win, though. Pass incomplete. 4th down and 19. Give us the ball back. This is where we win the game. Fuck out of here. Let's go, baby. $6:45 left. In the 4th quarter, we're knotted up at 13. Yeah, I mean, I hope at this point that, we can end up, I mean, you don't really want field goals, but you'll take a field goal if needed. But I kind of feel that Oregon's got a touchdown brewing, here in these last, 6.5 minutes. So look how close we are. And again, if the field goal opportunity is there, we're going to take it. And then we just got to trust the defense can get the ball back and get the stop. But, it kind of feels like if we score a touchdown on this drive, that this could be the difference in the game. And we could end up winning the game, 20-13 possibly. So hopefully we can get it done. But if it ends up going into overtime, let's say we kick a field goal, they kick a field goal, there is a chance to lose in OT. But even if it goes to OT, I kind of feel that we can squeak this one out. I feel like Wisconsin won the first 3 quarters. We're about to win the 4th, and hopefully it's enough where we don't have to go to overtime, and we can end up just winning cleanly here in the 4th quarter and, obviously have the bye, play the Huskies, go to the Big Ten championship, and, go from there. But again, you got to give Wisconsin all the credit. They played very, very well here today at home. Haters gonna hate, man. That's how it goes. Go Ducks. Oh, baby, baby, baby. But again, if you want just a quick refresher, if you're watching the game here on NBC or Peacock, first quarter, Atticus Sappington, 2 field goals to give us a 6-0 lead, but that was already kind of foreshadowing of what kind of game it was. Wisconsin's been very good winning the line of scrimmage battle on offense and defensive line. Field goal, obviously, for Wisconsin in the second quarter to cut it to 6-3. Then ended up having one good offensive drive to give them the touchdown, 10-6 Wisconsin, and obviously being down 4 at half, not ideal. We came out in the third quarter, still kind of flat-footed and kind of getting beat up. They ended up getting another field goal, 13-6, and then going into the 4th, we finally got the offense clicking in the way that we wanted. Jordan James with an 11-yard tutty, and that's where we're sitting right now with a 13-13 game. So, and again, not every game, is going to, go, the way that you want. Not every game is going to be a, 14, 17, 20-point blowout. Kind of the wheelhouse for Oregon this year is about 30 to 39 points. And then the defense normally plays top 5. Today, it hasn't really been that good, even though we've only given up 13 points. But again, the play calling, not very good. Dylan Gabriel, not very good. Offense, not very good. Getting our ass kicked on the O-line and the D-line in the line of scrimmage, facts. And you got to give Wisconsin credit, obviously being at home, but I feel this is where the tide is going to kind of shift, and we should be able to get a touchdown, I'm hoping, on this particular drive. And if we do, I think it could be the difference in the game. I mean, that's why Oregon and Ohio State was one of the best games of the year, right? Sometimes you got to have those really close battles. Again, it's just you don't really expect it to be close when you're playing a team that's 5-4 that's like in the middle of the Big Ten. But I feel that it kind of feels like the touchdown is coming. And again, if you're Dylan Gabriel, run the fucking football. Let's go. 411 in the building. Let's go. 425 in the building. Let's go. Shotgun set. It's got to be Dylan Gabriel with his legs, Jordan James with his legs. I don't even really want Gabriel to throw the ball that much. He's been a little bit of a liability today. Let's go, baby. Let's see if we can hit 500 in the room. 476. Let's go. Second down and 1 on the Wisconsin 34. Shotgun set to Gabriel. Bunch formation. Audible at the line. 4 red zone picks for the season for Gabriel. There we go. There we go. Pound that rock, baby. Looking like Jonathan Stewart right there. First down, Oregon. Move the chains. Let's go. And if we didn't have Jordan James playing today, we probably lose, if we're being honest. Like, this has really been one of the saving graces for Oregon. Not that Noah Whittington isn't capable, but he's a little bit more of a smaller, change of pace back, not a physical back like James. There we go, Jordan. Let's go. 13-13. Dylan Gabriel. Use your legs, baby. Make the right read. Shotgun set. James with the tackle broke. Ooh, baby. Just try to get off that tackle there on 2nd down and 7. 3rd down and 4 on the Wisconsin 16. And really the play of the game was the 4th down and 9 that we went for and got. And then 2 plays later, we scored. Reflect with a 3-er. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Let's keep it moving. Third down and 4. Let's go. Let's go, Gabriel. Shotgun set. Gabriel. Run it, run it, run it, run, run, run. First down, Oregon. Let's go. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Again, I know my team and I know, this particular roster, especially if Gabriel has been a little shaky. Use your legs. Turn into Tim Tebow. You might be Tim Tebow 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. I don't give a fuck. Just find a way not to fumble the ball, take the punishment, and get that first down, and he did. First down, Ducks. Move the chains. And we got an injury for a Badger down on the floor here. Uh-oh. Hopefully he's okay. Oh! And his own player ended up causing him the injury. Gets pushed in the back, and then the helmet went right on the hip, and his neck got kind of contorted awkwardly there. Hopefully he's okay. Let's go, baby. See if we can hit 600. We got 514 in the room. We're going to win this game, though. Again, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be the ugliest win of the season. We didn't play good against Idaho in week 1. We didn't play good in Boise State in week 2. And again, this is, one of those games where you play an ugly game. You got to give credit where credit's due. Wisconsin has earned this. They played very, very well. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to come up with the right play calls. Luckily, we end up having a top defense. I think we get the touchdown on this drive, and then the defense will end up winning the game for us. I mean, again, 2013 is not pretty. Hell, 16-13, we would take that as well. But sometimes you just got to find a way to win by 1, 2, or 3. So let's go. Let's go, baby.
That's why our family will only try to see
More IIHS top safety plus points than
3:49 left here in the fourth quarter on NBC as well as Peacock. If you're looking to find a way, obviously you can use a streaming link as well. But, for me, I've been watching this team since the 80s. So, I'm used to watching this team win like 1 or 2 games a year back when I first started watching. So it kind of turned the corner with Bellotti and Joey Harrington in the late 90s and the early 2000s. But as long as we have Dan Lanning, we're going to be relevant. And if we end up having him for the next, let's say, 10 years, there's a chance that we could make a couple natties. Not saying that we would win, but again, we definitely are, building in the right direction. And maybe this is our year, maybe it's not, but I hope that we play Ohio State in the Natty and in the Big Ten Championship. That's the matchup that I would want, and I think that would be the most competitive and the most entertaining in college football this season. Bama, they're not as good. Georgia, they're not as good. And again, Michigan fell back. Texas is still kind of floating around, and there's a few teams, that are good football teams. But to me, I think Ohio State is the best team other than Oregon in college football. So top to bottom. Some people may disagree, based on their loyalty to their teams or based on what they've seen. But Wohler, hopefully he's okay. But again, some Oregon fans are going to be bandwagon. Some are going to be overly confident. But again, when you've been watching a team for, 30 plus years, you know that nothing is guaranteed. Everything has to be fucking earned, Shotgun set. James, stiff arm. Did he actually go down? He didn't even go down. He wasn't even down. Unbelievable. Not even fucking down. Like, why are you calling the fucking play here? Look, he puts his hand on the ground. Knee doesn't even touch. Unbelievable. Come on. Unbelievable. Can't believe they blew it dead there. Second and goal, Noah Whittington bouncing it to the outside. Short gain. He just doesn't have the same kind of oomph in his runs as Jordan James. Third and goal. Can't believe they blew that whistle down. I mean, again, we've had a play against Auburn in the Natty against Cam Newton where a guy rolled over on another guy's back and then and they ended up getting a few extra yards, kicked the field goal, and we lost. That was the Natty that we earned, that we should have won. We weren't going to win the one against Ohio State with, obviously Marcus Mariota, but at some point, it feels like a Natty could be in the future. But we got to take care of business here first. Third and goal. Dylan Gabriel, shotgun set, pressure, pass incomplete in the back of the end zone. Fourth and goal. So what do we do here? Do we kick the field goal and go for 3? Or do we go for the touchdown, potentially game-winning play? Tough decision here. I mean, our defense is good enough. If we, kick the 3, we should be able to get it done. But shout out to the 600 plus in the building, baby. But I think I would kick the field goal if this was me, since Sappington already has done it already. And we got to trust. Now, if we didn't have a good defense, it's one thing. But I feel that with the defense being top 5, top 10 pretty much all year, this is what we got to do. Kick is up, and he almost missed it, but good. 16-13 Oregon, and we'll take it. Let's go. Let's go, baby. We'll take it. Ugly game, just like Idaho and Boise State, but sometimes you got to win ugly. I mean, look at the NFL. People want to talk shit and say, Oregon's overrated. All these teams are overrated. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not like Patrick Mahomes has fucking been playing great. They've been barely squeaking by, winning by 10 or less every fucking game this season. So sometimes, you got to find a way to win, and you got to find a way to win ugly. And sometimes it's not going to be like it was when they had Tyreek. Sometimes it's not going to be like last year, with the whole Taylor Swift bullshit. Sometimes, it's just going to get ugly out there, and you got to find a way to dig deep and find a way to win, even if it's only by 1, 2, or 3. 16-13, Oregon. Let's go.
But as a quarterback, this is the kind of situation you want to be in, right? And sometimes when you're from up in the backyard, you dream about being in the chance to lead your team down the field against the number 1 team in the country.
And obviously it is 16-13 here, but the people at ESPN, they love to take good shit breaks right at the key time to not update the scoreboard. So we'll see if oh boy working at ESPN will update the scoreboard for us at some point here. Yeah, like I said, winning this game, even if it's ugly, then we got to play the Huskies. We can get that. But again, there's a very real possibility that if we ended up playing, let's say, like, Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship or Indiana, we could lose. You could lose to anybody on any given fucking week, right? Injuries have not been really, injuries have been tough for us this year as well. And again, this is the first time that our offense, hasn't had guys like LaMichael James and DeAnthony Thomas. Quarterback play hasn't really been as good. False start. I love that, baby. Laundry on the field. We'll take that. There we go. They finally updated the scoreboard.
Just can't have that penalty. That's on Greg Love, it's on Phil
Yeah, but it's one thing to be able to drop, 50, 60, 70 points in the Chip Kelly era, but we didn't have really a defense. This is the first time that we've actually had a top 10 defense like ever, and then the offense isn't as good, but defense wins games, defense wins championships. Little slant. First down, Badgers. Move the chains. Just kidding. Second down and 9. Shotgun set. Lock. Pass incomplete. Third down and 9. Let's go. Let's go, Ducks. Find a way. Find a way, baby. Third down and 9 on the Wisconsin 26. See if they end up bringing a blitz here for Braden Locke, who's a very average to below average quarterback. Shotgun set. Third down and 9. Towards the sideline. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Jabbar Muhammad on the deep route, intermediate route, pass incomplete. Great coverage by Oregon. And when we needed a big defensive stop, we get one. There we go. Fourth and 9. And pass incomplete. Let's go. Fourth down and 9. Lock. Not a chance in hell. And this is where we win the game. Hell yeah. 4 and out. Let's go. 7-16 in the building. Let's go. And again, for fans that have been watching since the 80s like me, or for fans that have been watching within the last 5 to 10 years, you're not going to be able to blow out every single team that you play. And I guarantee if we played at Autzen, we would be ahead by more than this. But this is something that is good that has happened to Oregon, because you got to be able to face the adversity late in the season. So that way, if we end up getting a chance to play Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, you have to remember games like this. And we obviously know Ohio State is much better than Wisconsin. Even Indiana is having that, magical year as well. Not every game is going to go based off script. Sometimes you're going to get dominated. And that's what happened today. We got dominated on the line of scrimmage. The O-line was better for Wisconsin. The D-line was better for Wisconsin. They won all quarters, first, second, and third. But who won the fourth quarter? The Ducks did. And even though it's ugly, 16-13, and we are very close to winning this game. There we go. Jordan James, baby. Let's go. I love all the people thinking that the Ducks are going to lose, because, we do have a chance to win it all. I'm not saying that we will, but again, it's like people get so upset, that Oregon came into the Big Ten and we own this division. Okay. And the thing is, the Pac-12 top to bottom is much better than the Big Ten. The Big Ten is soft. The Big Ten does not have great teams top to bottom like the Pac-12. That's the reason why it was so hard to win the Pac-12, because Arizona, Arizona State, Washington, Washington State, USC, you go through all the teams, there was a lot of parity. The teams at the top are very, very good. Ohio State, Michigan in the past, Penn State. But after those 3 teams, it's very average to below average. You got teams like Iowa and Wisconsin that would be decent in the middle, but then look at all the teams this year in the middle to the bottom. The Big Ten is a cakewalk, right? It's easier to win the Big Ten than it is to win the Pac-12. Facts, okay? We were the best conference in college football last year, top to bottom, the Pac-12. So again, I have mad respect for the Big Ten, but again, it's an easier path to win the Big Ten. Hell, if we ended up joining years ago, we would have been able to do what Ohio State did for all those years. So if you really are thinking about it, Ohio State and Michigan are great, but when you're playing a bunch of dog shit teams every fucking week, it's easy to be able to win 10, 11, fucking 12 games every year when you're playing dog shit teams in the conference. Just saying. And again, 4 out of the top 5 teams are in the Big Ten. Big Ten is the best conference in college football this year, right? Alabama and Georgia have taken a step back. And we obviously know Texas and Oklahoma have joined the SEC, but let's not get it twisted for 1 second. Second down and 4. Shotgun set. Gabriel, hands off. Jordan James fighting for a couple yards. Third down and 5 on the Wisconsin 21. Well, tell me I'm wrong. Look at the rankings. Look at the rankings of the teams that are in the Big Ten. You think the Big Ten really is that good from top to bottom? Like, at the top, it's nice, but in the middle to the bottom, it's terrible. I mean, how do you think Ohio State wins all these games every fucking year? It's like you got Michigan, you got Penn State, but sometimes you don't have both those teams on the schedule, and then you got a bunch of those fucking bottom feeders. If Oregon was there, years back, we would be on the same level, obviously, as Ohio State if we had Lanning. Now, if we didn't have Lanning and we had Crystal Ball, then it's a different story. But sometimes you got to have the right coach in the right scenario. 3rd down and 5. But even though the division, might not be strong top to bottom, it's the best division in college football. So for all you Alabama, Georgia people, you guys had your time. Your time has passed, okay? Saban is no longer there. You're done, okay? That aura that you guys had, and the main reason that Bama and Georgia were so good is because you guys recruited so much better than everyone else. It was Bama, Georgia, Ohio State. It's kind of hard to be able to compete when a team's got, fucking 40 NFL players, in a matter of a couple years, and everyone that you play has got 1 to 5, Think about it for a second. It's like the Chiefs playing like the Jags. Every once in a while, maybe the Jags are going to win, but for the most part, if you got more NFL players, you're going to end up winning. Buckeye fan 18, like I haven't heard that before. I remember my first football game. Just because we don't have any doesn't mean that we won't. And obviously we got a lot of college football fans in a frenzy because they know that we're going to have a chance with Dan Lanning. He's the best coach in college football today. Jordan James up the gut. Good stuff there by Wisconsin. 4th down. I know, I love it. All the people talking shit when they all have losses with their team. 1, 2, 3, 4. But again, I want to have the best matchup. I want Ohio State in the Big Ten championship if we lose. They're awesome. They're a good team, and that's what I want. I think that they deserve to be able to get a chance to get payback at Oregon, and I also want them in the Natty. I think that would be the best matchup. Not Bama, not Georgia, not Penn State, not Miami, or not any of these other fucking teams that people think that actually have a chance. And there's obviously a possibility that Ohio State loses in the college football playoff, just like Oregon. But I think that if you really want to be able to see the best teams play, I think Oregon and Ohio State, if we can keep it clean the rest of the way, that would be the most entertaining natty, in my opinion. Whether you're rooting for Oregon to win or you're rooting for Oregon to lose. Or same thing with Ohio State. So field goal attempt by Atticus Sappington. Fake! It's a fake! Oh my God, why would we fake it there? Oh my God, I thought that we were going to get that. I mean, I know we're super aggressive right there, but you should have kicked the field goal. But again, obviously they're going to try to bank on this defense to be able to stop. Man, why do they got to make these games like this? How do you not get that first down? Unbelievable. Dan Lanning trying to beat Chip Kelly all over again. Didn't we learn anything from Washington and those Husky wins that they got on Oregon winning by 3? Come on, Dan. Oh, brutal. I mean, obviously, if we get the first down, the game's over. And I know that we're going to take risks, but should have probably just taken the 3 right there. All right, defense. It's up to you now. Shotgun set. Get his ass. Pump fake. Nice game there by Wisconsin and Braden Locke. Run for 7 yards to the Wisconsin 24, 2nd down and 3. And I love it for people that say that Oregon hasn't beat anybody this year. We've beaten more ranked teams than a lot of your favorite teams that have played, okay? A lot of the teams that, if you actually look at top 25 wins, for all these people that think that we haven't played anybody, we've actually played more ranked teams than a lot of your favorite teams have. There we go. Keep talking shit. Keep talking shit. I love it. Come in here and keep talking shit. Game over. That's what happens. We take risks. The defense wins the game. Let's go. I love it when people talk shit. I love it. Keep talking. It might have been ugly, but we'll take it.
This one is going to seal the deal. They attack the football,
Let's go. And that's how you win a game, baby. That's how you win a game. Defense wins games. Defense wins championships. What a play. Let's go. Big tipped interception. And again, Dylan Gabriel, had a kind of an off throw that got tipped in the air, and then we returned the favor there here in the fourth quarter. Fantastic job by the Oregon defense. It wasn't pretty. We got dominated in 3 quarters. Wisconsin won the line of scrimmage on the O-line and D-line. Give them the flowers. They played very, very well. At home, they fed off the crowd. But again, defense wins games. Defense wins championships. Let's go. Big tipped interception. Let's go. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Let's go. And again, Washington isn't going to be easy either. I'm going to laugh hilariously for all the people that think that Oregon doesn't have a chance to actually win it all this year. And if we do, again, if you're just going to talk about the same bland shit talk, oh, you guys got a lot of uniforms and you don't got any natties, this or that. Well, I'm sorry that your bandwagon team in college football, like Bama or Georgia, isn't doing well this year for you. You guys had your time. Now it's time for a new wave of teams to be able to have success, like Oregon and Texas and a few others. Again, I'm sorry that your bandwagon teams aren't going to be in first place winning natties every single year, but this is actually good for college football. You want to be able to have a little bit of diversity and have other teams be able to rise to the top. The cream always rises to the top, baby. Let's go. Everyone who's saying, oh, who did Oregon play? You guys have the internet. Look it up. Our Boise State win was actually much better than people want to give credit for. At that time with Genty, no one really knew that he was going to be the best running back in the country. So whether you want to cry and bitch and moan about it, again, everyone has had their time. And again, we finally got one of the best coaches in college football. We're recruiting really, really well. Our defense is one of the best that we've ever had in the program. And again, sometimes you got to be able to go through the pain before you win. We already have natty losses to Auburn and Ohio State. So again, at some point, it's going to be our time. And this might be the year. Not necessarily that it will be, but we have a chance. And that's all that we've ever wanted. We wanted to be competitive, and we want to be able to have a chance. And it definitely feels like we definitely have a chance this year. Yeah. Like for all the people, complaining and moaning and whining that Oregon won again, again, you're not going to win every game in college football or in the NFL by 20 or 30. Okay. Sometimes you're going to have an ugly win where you look like you're going to lose. And again, Wisconsin dominated us for 3 quarters. Their offensive line and defensive line of scrimmage, they were great. But at the end of the day, good teams find a way to win. Bad teams find a way to lose. And again, defense wins games. Defense wins championships. This is the best defense that we've ever had in our program's history. So pump the brakes, okay, for the people thinking that we haven't earned this and we don't deserve this. Let's go. They're doing the kneel downs right now. One more kneel down and the game's over. And if you don't like that Oregon's the number 1 team, do something about it. Beat them, That's just like with Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State and everyone else, okay? 11-0, baby. Let's go. Again, and you got to realize too, the true Oregon fans like myself, when I started watching in the 80s, we would win 1 or 2 games a year, okay? So again, not every Oregon fan is going to be a bandwagon fan from the last couple years. Some of us are OGs that saw the Chris Millers, the Tony Grazianis, the Rich Brookses, and having to go through a lot of that hell to be able to get to this point. So let's go. Go Ducks. Shrimp Father, a.k.a. Martin with a $5. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Anybody that donates will end up getting some photos from me on the stream. But if you ended up dipping out, I won't be able to get that for you. But Shrimp Father, if you got a particular photo of a favorite player, let me know, and I'll throw that up. 11-0, baby. And again, all the haters, for Bama, Georgia, you had your time. I mean, it's not going to be your teams forever. At some point, there's going to be a shift in college football, with not only the college football playoff, but the fact that we got Dan Lanning. If we don't have Dan Lanning, we're not in this position, 100%. So, at some point or another, after all the pain and all the agony and all the losses, right, only being able to have Rose Bowl wins, natty losses, maybe this is the, time where things are flipped and we actually can be happy for once. Final score, Oregon Ducks 16, Wisconsin 13. Let's go. Damn right. But we got the bye week, right? We got the bye week, then we got Washington. And you got to think, Washington is a much better team than Wisconsin. So if we struggled like this, against Wisconsin, what does that mean with Washington? Now, we already know, with Rodgers, he's very shaky. Jonah Coleman is a fucking stud, one of the best running backs in the country. It is not necessarily going to be easy, and we could lose. Again, it's not like we think that we're just going to beat every single team and we're going to beat them convincingly. Again, college football, in 2024 and moving forward is going to be much more even, and I'm here for the challenge. Let's go. Go Ducks. But it definitely feels like the Ducks have a chance to go all the way. And I know that if they do, and they have a parade in Eugene, you best believe I'll be there. See, comments like this tell me that you don't watch football at all because the SEC isn't good. Bama and Georgia are not as good as they traditionally have been. Tell me that you haven't watched football without telling me that you watch football. Right there. Nice try, though. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Shout out to all the new subs. We ended up getting, 500-600 people in the room, which is a fantastic boost. You never know when that might end up happening. We ended up gaining quite a few. Let's see where we're at. We were last at, let's see. We ended up gaining 20 subs in the last couple minutes right there. Nice job. So now we're at 20,663. We had 58 subs to go before the fourth quarter started, and now we only need 37 to be able to get to 20,700. So for all of the people that came through to enjoy the stream, the 600 plus, shout out to those extra 20 or 30 that I ended up earning a sub for. I appreciate you guys. And again, we're going to do a little bit of everything here. College football, NFL, NHL, NBA, WWE. So if you're looking for a kind of a one-stop shop, here we are. So, hey, tell me that you don't watch football by telling you that you don't watch football right here again. I love it. SEC is dog shit, okay? Georgia and Bama aren't as good. Now, we know Texas and Oklahoma have joined, but last time I checked, you got 4 teams out of 5 in the Big Ten. I mean, tell me that you're not watching football. I can already tell who watches and who doesn't. Nice try, though. All right, guys. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Final score, Oregon Ducks 16, Wisconsin 13. Again, got dominated for 3 quarters, but like I said, Dylan Gabriel, you just got to run the rock. He did. It was an ugly win. We found a way to do it. I'm going to be live tomorrow for Sunday Night Football between the Bengals and the Chargers. Burrow and Herbert, yes, please. And then we'll be live on Monday night for the Cowboys and the Houston Texans. And shout out to all the people that liked, sub, donated, commented, shared. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Orion, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Final score, Oregon Ducks 16, Wisconsin 13. We're 11-0, and we're still number one. And I am out. Gang, go Ducks.